Hey everybody, welcome back to Sunday Afternoon Smokes, your casual conversation podcast from the upstate of South Carolina. My name is Chris. I'm your host. I'm a realtor. I'm also the owner and operator of The Cigar Box, a mobile cigar bar that serves the upstate and beyond. Most conversations are enjoyed over a cigar while I interview the local entrepreneurs, business professionals, and entertainers that make the greater Greenville area one of the most popular places to live in the country. So I hope you get to sit back, light a cigar, and enjoy the show. And today I'm sitting down with Andrew Rodriguez. And Andrew, I think you've listened to a few of the episodes.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull that mic in. There.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to let my guests introduce themselves.
Great.
So take a minute, say as much or as little about yourself as you like. And while you do that, I'm going to light my cigar.
Cool. I'll light mine after then.
Yeah.
Andrew Rodriguez, native to the Northeast, Connecticut, moved down to South Carolina about 10 years ago and have been making my way through business and relationships in the upstate, and it's been an awesome place. I met my wife here and started my family here, and we've met you not too long ago through some cool happenings in my life, and it's pretty much who I am, I guess.
Okay.
Family
awesome.
Man, businessman, hanging out.
Nice. When did you say you moved down here?
It was the end of 2014, 2015.
Okay, so you've been here like 10 years now.
This will be 10 years.
Nice. So I had us on deck to smoke and go ahead and light up whenever you're ready, man.
Let's go.
I had us on deck to smoke the Artista 56 Natural Robusto, but I realized here just a minute ago that I grabbed the wrong cigar because I also have the Artista 56 Maduro, and you asked for a medium stick. So this might have a little bit more of a bold flavor profile than what you normally smoke. I don't know. I bet you like it, and then you're like, hey, I like Maduros.
Oh, no. That's nice.
Yeah. It's nice.
Tasty.
It is. Yeah, it's a good smoke. It's little robust, maybe a little chocolatey, maybe a little dark roast coffee, some earth, maybe a touch of spice. We'll see. And I really like Artista cigars. They're relatively new to me.
That's the brand.
That's the brand Artista.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a company in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, the DR, huh?
Yep. A lot of good companies in the DR. In fact, I just placed an order with a boutique cigar company called Nova this morning, and then I've got a guy calling me later on today called YR Cigars. I'm supposed to place another order with him because I want to carry some more boutique stuff in the trailer.
Sure.
Stuff that people around here have never seen.
Sick trailer.
Thanks, man.
Sick trailer.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. It's I know you got to lay eyes on it at Dad's night for the first time. That was
at night,
cool.
with the lights on.
Dude, at night is when she's just freaking drop dead sexy.
Linging.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool.
That's when she does her best work.
So how do you find these like boutique style cigar companies to work with?
Yeah, well, I met these people when I was out at and listeners forgive me because I've talked about this ad nauseum, but I met these people out when I was in Vegas at the end of January for a big product expo. Had a bunch of cigar brands there, and that's where I met these people.
Cool.
And they have another big cigar show in just a few weeks in New Orleans called PCA.
One?
Huh?
You're gonna go?
No.
No.
I don't have the time or the money. But next year I'm going to go to PCA because TPE was a little bit different. It's cigars, but it's also hookah and vape and nicotine pouches and CBD and just all kinds of stuff. PCA, straight up cigars.
Just cigars.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there's like a ton of people there.
Yeah.
And it's in the Big Easy, so I want to go next year.
Oh, yeah.
It's normally in Vegas, but for whatever reason, I don't know what the kerfuffle was, but it's in New Orleans this year and next year, and then in 2027 it'll be back in Vegas.
Returns back. A lot of those big conventions do that. They go to Vegas for a handful of years. They pull out to other cities. We go. I'm sure you're going to get into this, cabinet business. We go to the Builder and the Kitchen and Bath Expo every couple of years. We go out and they alternate the same. They go from Vegas and then they go to Orlando every third year.
Okay.
And they kind of jump back and forth between those two hubs. But yeah, those conventions are fun.
Yeah.
I learn a lot when I go to those.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just we'll keep it in the back pocket because it's not in the notes, but we'll get there.
Cool.
So I know, like you said, down here, 10 years now.
Yeah.
But one thing I always like to ask my guests is about when and how they got into cigars. Because first section is always cigar section. We've lit up, we're smoking. So where does your cigar, journey, for lack of a better word, where does that begin?
Well, smoking them, and then the cigars themselves have been in my life since I was probably conceived. We had a family. My grandfather was a big cigar smoker. Matter of fact, my uncle just gave me his old cigar pouch because he's cleaning out, he's moving, and he found my grandfather's old cigar case that he'd carry around, keep 3 or 4 cigars in.
Oh, sweet!
It's got his initials on it and stuff. He just gave it to me Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, just coincidental.
What's it made out of?
It's leather.
Yeah.
It's a leather bound, and it's got the inside is actually lined with some cedar or some sort of wood.
Yeah, it's going to be cedar.
It's pretty cool, man. Yeah, and didn't have any cigars in it though.
Well, I know a guy can help you with that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, as far as cigars go, it's not the most romantic story, but I mean, I just grew up watching the old guys in our family smoke. I had a great grandfather that his name was Nick, and he died when I was 5. So, but I do have very vivid images of him just hanging out in my grandparents' backyard and just chewing on them. He never really smoked them. He just chewed on the ends of them.
Yeah.
But then when I got to age, I have an uncle, Rick, who's an aficionado of all sorts, and cigars and wine and stuff like that are his big passion. So I got introduced by him, and I guess I didn't really know the difference in cigars until much later. But we always he's offered me one, and so I had a handful of them maybe in my teenage years and then 20s, and smoke them definitely more often now. You get on the golf course a couple times a year. The guy's always smoking stogies and hanging out. And now I met you, and I'm sure I'll be smoking a bunch more.
Stogies and bogeys on the golf
it's
course,
a lot of fun, man. I love it. I'll burn through 2 of them on 18.
Easy.
Easy, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
I almost get headache from it because I'm dehydrated from smoking it so much.
Well, just hydrate more. But beer's not a hydrator. Just want you to know that.
Oh, maybe that's... I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah. But cigars on the golf course, my thing would be, and I'm down. I hardly ever play golf, and by the way, I play golf strictly for the fun. I'm not competitive at it because I suck. I know.
I suck too, but I can't help but being competitive about it.
Sure.
But I'm not the kind of guy that throws a golf club.
No.
Because I suck.
No,
I just deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do, yeah. Same difference.
Cigars on the golf course are great. My happy places are one of my happy places, cigars on the pontoon.
Yeah.
That's really where it's at. I've got it. I know a pontoon guy, a cigar guy. Maybe we should get together.
That's easy. And the ladies like them.
Oh yeah.
Too, so we're good.
Well, my wife on the occasion will light up with me, and
you said that.
Yeah, she will from time to time. It's not super often, but she will. But yeah, if we get her on the pontoon, we'll just have to see if we can get one for Jackie.
I doubt it.
It's going to be a hard sell, huh?
Yeah, no way. She almost kicks me out of the house when I come home after smoking cigars. It's 3 times brush the teeth, shower, a little cologne, then I'm allowed in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not a huge fan.
Yeah. So you said that you smoke, probably a little bit more regular now.
Yeah.
And now I wonder how that goes for guys. The little bit older you get, you're really settled in, and then these more, I guess, depending on what you're smoking, cigars would be considered kind of a luxury and expensive habit.
It is,
you know
actually.
What I mean?
I mean, you sell them.
I do.
Yeah, and I'm not a connoisseur by any means, but I definitely know the difference between, a gas station, cigar, and then something like we're smoking right now. And I don't know what this costs, but I bet you it's every bit of $10 or more.
Yeah.
Just as so, but at the same time, I think I don't smoke them ever alone. I'll never smoke a cigar just by myself.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't enjoy it, but it's always a social thing.
It's much more communal.
Yeah. I'm always hanging out with somebody, chilling around the campfire, chilling at the pool, pontoon boat, golf course, whatever.
Right.
Something of that nature. Poker table. A lot of times we play cards outside. We'll burn some cigars.
Yeah.
We'll hang out, which you'll be invited to. Don't worry. I know. Yeah.
It's not really my skill set.
It's okay, man.
Well, you're just saying it's okay because you take my money.
Well, I gave it back. I bought some cigars.
Okay, that's fair.
It's an economy of things.
That's fair.
It's the economy of things.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. Don't come.
Yeah.
Don't come.
No,
Just come sell cigars.
I can do that. I can come, and if anybody wants
Bring
cigars,
that
I'll
trailer.
bring that.
I bet you everybody would be buying cigars.
Well, we'll have to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just roll it out because it's nothing to hook up and roll out there.
No.
I'll just hook it up.
Yeah.
These want to, especially if y'all are playing outside.
Well, except for like handing somebody a business card and be like, I do cigars. And then rolling up with that thing, like you said it the other day, that thing is cool, man.
Yeah.
Like you roll up to any place with that, even somebody who might not regularly smoke a cigar might just meander over and.
Oh, they're definitely going to come over.
One or two.
They might buy something, but if not,
it's a trap.
they're going to come look.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, what is that?
Yeah. It's a little magnet to guys.
It is.
Yeah.
It 100% is. So on your cigar smoking, obviously very, very social, very communal, but on your personal preferences as far as like what you want out of a cigar.
I don't know. I really like this. And when you asked me before we got here, I thought I liked the medium to lighter bodied stuff.
This is more medium to full.
Yeah, well, I like this a lot. And maybe my taste buds are growing.
Well, it really is just, when people come to me at the cigar trailer and I'm at an event and they don't smoke and they want help, my questions are to them, I want to find out what flavor profiles do you enjoy?
Yeah.
And I start with the light stuff, and my questions usually are along these lines. Do you prefer light things like peanuts, vanilla, honey, or do you prefer heavy things like dark chocolate, molasses, espresso?
Right.
Or are you in the middle? You more like woody, oaky, nut, milk chocolate, light to medium roast coffee. Where are you at? And then from there, I will direct.
It's kind of like wine, kind of like wine in the sense. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I would just compare it to that because it's the only thing I could really think of. But yeah, I don't know if I really have a preference then, I guess. I think, it would be fun, it'd be really cool actually, is if you could like set up a cigar flight. Like you go to like a brewery and like you don't really know what you want to drink, you don't really know what things taste like, and then you get a flight like 7-8 different beers or whatever.
Yeah, I could do that.
That would be fun.
But I can get
because you could work like from like the lighter stuff to the fuller bodied stuff, and people can like be like, great, no, and then maybe figure out what they like. But because it's always hard for me, it's like somebody asked me like, oh, well, that steak was really good, the best steak of my life. Well, how the heck do you really know that was the best steak you've ever had unless you were eating them all next to each other at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta so I would be interested to try like a lighter, a medium, and a full at the same time, at some point, and then really determine that, because this is good. But when we were here a couple weeks ago, that lighter cigar I smoked.
That was the Maduro Inspirato Palladium.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Well, what I could do, obviously you couldn't do it with this. This size of a cigar, but what I do have access to that I could set up with like 4 different cigars or cigarillos.
Cigarillos.
Yeah, it's a cigar that's size of a cigarette.
Yeah.
So you could try all those, and they're about 10 minutes.
Well, can't you like spark the cigar and then do a fresh cut on the end afterwards and then package them for the customer?
You could. It's not going to be the best version of itself later because now you've passed all that smoke through the whole cigar, and then it's going to sit and get stale, and it's just not.
I'm a novice.
Yeah, it's not the best version of itself. So if I had a flight and I have 4 from light to, I've got a mild medium, a medium full, and a full.
Yeah.
But they're all the size of a cigarette. You can smoke that
as long as you can get the different like profile in your mouth, and
that's not a bad idea.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be fun.
The cigar flight, sampler, or whatever we want to.
Cigar and bourbon flight.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah, all right.
Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, I'm with you on stuff like that. And how do you know? It's nice to have things kind of back to back to back, so you can experience them all at the same time. Because if you can't do that, then you're relying strictly on your notes and your memory versus your actual senses.
And I think this is all senses. Like,
this is 100%
100%. Like, it's not like, oh, I think I like this, so I'm going to like it. It's like, do you like it or not right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be cool. This is really nice. So this is one more time.
This is a Dominican Puro. So all the tobacco in this, a cigar consists of 3 parts, the filler, the binder, and the wrapper.
Yeah.
So the wrapper's what you see with your eyes. It's the final leaf on the outside. What you see all in the middle is the filler, or they call it the bunch, because in the factory they hand them their bale of tobacco, and depending on if it's a big time or smaller time operation, they might have one guy that does the whole thing. But usually in a bigger facility, they'll have guys that are strictly bunchers. They take the filler and they bunch it and they prepare it. And then the guy that's actually rolling, he'll take that bunch and he'll put it in a leaf and roll it into a rough cigar shape. That's the binder leaf, because now the bunch is bound together,
right?
All
together.
Yep, exactly. And then after that's done, they'll probably trim it a little bit to size, and then he'll put on that very last leaf, the wrapper leaf, and then he'll cut it. Then they'll put a cap on the end of it.
Yep.
And then trim it to its final size.
Cool.
And then after that, it gets bundled. They get bundled in bundles of 50 cigars, which is known as a half wheel, and that bundle of cigars will be taken to the aging room.
Gotcha.
And they sit, in the aging room for various amounts of time, depending on what the manufacturer's creating.
Sure.
It could be, probably as little as 3 months. It could be 5 years.
Oh, no kidding.
It just depends on what they're doing,
what they're going for.
Yeah, and even that fermentation process, after you've grown it, you've harvested it, you've cured it, then you put it into the fermentation process. That process can be a 6 month to a couple years, depending. It takes a while,
okay.
And so with cigars, this isn't what we're smoking today. This is not a machine made cigar. This is not a short filler cigar, meaning just all bits and pieces.
Yeah, leftovers.
Right.
Yeah.
That they'll take.
It's a prime. This
is a premium hand rolled cigar. Yeah. And so when you consider, people want to know why cigars cost what they cost. Well, it's growing time. It's all that whole process that takes several years, and all those different people, like 300 different people, from hands, from seed.
Yeah.
There's I think it's what are they called? Southern there's a brand out there that their name escapes me right now, but they have a line called 300 Manos. Because it's like 300 hands, 150 people have been involved in the making of this cigar from beginning to finish.
That's
300
great.
hands.
I like that.
And with anything else, I mean, there is just the raw product itself from seed to smoke. But then, of course, there's branding. Some cigars you're paying for a name, just like, if you buy a Harley, you're paying for a name.
Yeah. Same V-twin forever.
Yeah. And I'm not I'm not a big motorcycle guy. I used to ride one, have one. I don't know a ton about them, but I'm not a huge Harley fan. I just don't like the air-cooled, engine, especially because I was riding in Southern California and it's freaking hot. So if you're in the middle of the summer and you're in heavy traffic, kind of stop and go, man, that engine gets hot, brother.
Yeah. Nothing like a radiator in some degrees when you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, cigars cost what they cost. Just, there's a lot that goes into it.
And it's always, with anything like this, like, I mentioned wine and bourbon, but, I'm more of a bourbon drinker. I know it's pretty cliche, I guess, drink cigar and bourbon, but
that's not. No, that's classic.
It's
I wouldn't say cliche.
Yeah, I love it. I love sitting down, and even a glass of wine. But man, people spend big bucks on wine and bourbon, and it's all for those exact same reasons. And you're right. There's companies that just have a big name. But I went out to Kentucky a couple years ago and did some of that bourbon trail, and I learned so much about all that.
Oh, really?
And it's so interesting to me. Yeah, well, all these things, they're just they're little niches, and you're gonna it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a ton that goes into it. Not even accounting, like,
you can't really put a dollar.
Not even accounting whether or not you got enough backup tobacco in your reserves in case we have a bad harvest.
Right.
So a guy that's a rock star in the cigar making community in the world today, his name's AJ Fernandez. He's got a bunch of farms in Nicaragua. He has his own factory. I saw yesterday, I guess they're still investigating, his factory caught on fire.
Oh.
Huge fire.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that's going to affect the price of his cigars. That's going to affect his stock. That's going to affect a whole lot of things.
Sure.
So, there's just those things that you can't control for. And, that's any industry. I mean, you're in the cabinet industry, struggling to get materials, struggling to get, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into that. So you're the owner and operator and founder of Blue Ridge Cabinets.
Blue Ridge Cabinet and Design. Yep.
Blue Ridge Cabinet and Design. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of what Blue Ridge Cabinet and Design is and does, it's pretty obvious. But go ahead and tell everybody first, how can they follow you on social media? And if someone needs the services you provide, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
At Blue Ridge Cabinet, anywhere you can put it in. So Facebook, Instagram, House is like a it's a very specific to like people who are looking to like do home renovation building.
That's HOUZ, right?
HOUZ.
ZZ?
Yeah, ZZ.
Okay.
HOUZZ.
This is a big website for finding contractors.
It's like a new age Angie's List. You remember that Angie's List back in the day? It's still active, Angie's List, but yeah, this one got it's a bit more specific. But it's so you can find us at Blue Ridge Cabinet, and then BlueRidgeCabinet.com. Best way to get a hold of us is just reach out through any of those outlets or call the shop directly. We're a bit of an old school business. We do all the social media things that you need to do, but we're still more of a, face to face and real conversation kind of place.
Kissing babies, shaking hands.
Yeah. We live in a small town. The upstate's as big as it's gotten in terms of population. It's still a small place. So
yeah,
we love the face to face, and we're right in Easley. Off of 123 for the locals. It's not a hard place to get to, and it's the best way to get a hold of us. Any type of project, kitchen, bathroom, closets related. We do pretty much anything storage solution related. I say storage solutions, like you want to store your plates, you got cabinets. Store your clothes, you got closet systems. You want to store your tools, we do garage systems.
Oh, okay.
So we do it all. Yeah, we do it all. But our primary business and focus is on the design side of getting all those places done and then providing the material. So if you come to us with a blank slate, we can all have a lot of fun. If you come to us with some direction and you know what you want, you've got some inspo pictures off of House or Pinterest or any other place, we could take that and kind of roll with it. That's the best way to get a hold of us.
Okay. And people can just do you need an appointment or can they just walk in the shop?
Showroom hours. We're there Monday through Friday till 5. We're up before you, I promise. And, you can roll in with no appointment. That's fine. We got a great showroom, about a 5,000 square foot showroom and office space that it's pretty new. We moved in 2023, Christmas of 23. So 2024 was our first full year in the new space. We were in Easley before that, just a smaller place, less to see in the old facility. Now you've got big. If you've been there, big displays and all sorts of toys for the kitchen and the bathrooms and all those other places to come check out, touch, feel, and see. And then you get to meet the crew. We got a couple full-time designers that are in the shop that you can roll in anytime and meet and shake hands and talk to. But scheduling appointments for our type of stuff is the best way to go, because it's you want attention. You're going to need attention as a customer. You're going to need to ask questions. You're going to need somebody to take the time to walk you through and answer them the right way. We're going to pick your brain probably more than you're going to pick ours. So setting up a time to come in is the best way. But if you just want to poke in, see what we're all about, Monday through Friday till 5. And then we do it by appointment on the weekends. Yeah.
No, that really is the best way to do it, is set an appointment, because you don't want to go in and get the wrong impression. And I mean, if you're a decent person, you'll understand this is on you, because if you walk in there and you haven't set an appointment and these people are tied up in appointments, then nobody's going to be able to pay attention to you, and you're going to walk out feeling like, well, they didn't pay any attention to me. Well, did you make an appointment? I'm busy.
Yeah. It's like, making reservations at a restaurant. It's always nice because you got a seat waiting for you. Mm-hmm. But when you just roll up to a restaurant, sometimes you're waiting 30, 40 minutes. It could, if you're hangry, it's not good.
Carry a Snickers, man.
If you're hangry for cabinets, schedule an appointment.
Yeah, well, you've kind of given us the overview. I was under the impression that y'all were, more kitchen, but you're like cabinets of all kind. I mean, you do everything. But his kitchen that's the sweet spot.
House. It's the biggest room in the house. It's the most important space in the house. So it's the heart of the home. So most of our projects are centered around the kitchen in some capacity. New construction, especially, we do a lot of new construction or full renovation jobs. We work with a lot of builders and contractors, but yeah, the majority of the big scale work is going to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But all of those other spaces fill in our 365 days.
Sure.
So there's a lot of other little projects that we help people with. Just even like simple stuff like built-ins around a fireplace. Somebody moves into their new house and had those little nooks left and right of the fireplace. Nothing was done. They come to us. We could do custom millwork in place. Put some boxes in on the lower portion, countertop, bookshelves, whatever they want to do up above. Fill in just even little spaces like that. Your pantry. You guys did a really fun little pantry. Those are really popular projects for us too.
Okay.
Go in, not as ornate. That's a really cool, speakeasy vibe you got going in there.
Yeah.
But
I should just go smoke a cigar in there.
I would.
In the pantry.
We just need some ventilation.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
She can just deal.
Okay. I'm in if you're in.
Then I'm going to deal.
Yeah. I get to go home.
Yeah.
But we also do countertops. So we do all the cabinet and millworking in-house. And then we also fabricate all the countertops. So, any type of surface you can think of for a counter surface, we do that too. And that's all in-house. So granite and quartzite and
butcher block?
Man-made butcher block for sure, man. Yeah, we could do affordable butcher block, which is like preformed stuff that we just finish and cut to size, which is pretty popular. And then we do, custom wood tops out of whatever kind of wood you want, zebra wood or walnut or Zanga.
If you got the money for it.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely the key component.
Yeah.
Grandpa always said you can have anything you want as long as you can pay for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a realtor, I understand, like, the kitchen, like you said, it's the heart of the home. Mm-hmm. And people want their bedrooms a certain way, and I get that. But if you sit down and you think about it, you actually spend very little time in your bedroom. You sleep there, you get up, you maybe go in your master bath, do your shower and all that stuff. But the overwhelming majority of your time is spent in the living room and in the kitchen.
Without a doubt. And it is the heart of the home. Yeah.
And so you want that kitchen, number one, to be inviting, but you want it to be functional. You don't want it to be and I've seen, man, just showing houses and seeing old stuff and seeing bad work. I've seen those situations where you can't open this. You can't. Yeah. This drawer has to be closed in order for me to open my dishwasher.
Oh yeah,
or my oven or whatever. And it's like, well,
somebody didn't work through the design process. Yeah, I mean, it's fun, man. You haven't seen some of the computer stuff that we do, the software that we use, but we use a pretty it's a dumbed down version of like an AutoCAD, but it's all the same in the sense that we generate these pretty fantastic real-to-life images for your kitchen spaces and everything else that you got going on. If you've ever watched like a home renovation video episode on like DIY channel or HGTV or whatever, they always have that cut to the before and then the renderings and then the after. And our renderings are probably at a even higher level than what you're used to seeing on TV. So it's fun, and it really does help the client get to the finished product in a what I would say like a seamless way. They saw what they were going to get before we showed up, and then we show up and we deliver exactly what we showed them. And there's really not a lot of question marks. So you answer most of the questions on the front end, the pre-engineering, and then when you show up to put it all together, it just makes for a lot more happy people. Because when I first started this 15 years ago, started doing this, I was literally sketching everything out and working through those bugs, which is trying to show people stuff on a one-dimensional plane, and try to make it happen. It just, it never really was perfect.
Sure.
Yeah. So, once the 3D software got picked up about 12 years ago, it opened up a lot. And so that's Blue Ridge Cabinet in a nutshell. And then countertops, back to countertops, is a lot of fun. Countertops are fun too. People understand that you're cutting real rock and you're using that to put in your house. It's not very forgiving. So you got to be really good at what you're doing to be able to cut rock and then put it in a house and have people really happy. But we do a lot all in house, and we've got a great team of guys that do that full time.
Yeah. So you're based here in Easley, but what's your like the radius of service? How far out are you guys going?
Like on an everyday basis, we try to stay within about an hour of our shop. But we've done projects as far out as Hilton Head, as far up as Raleigh and in North Carolina. We go into Asheville quite a bit. That's about an hour and 20-minute ride. We're going into Georgia on the other side of Lake Hartwell. So we'll kind of go wherever the job calls for. You know, we obviously have to scale our cost and our pricing out to accommodate the distance.
Yeah.
But for most of those people that are pulling us into those types of jobs, they're repeat clients. So these are customers we've already done work for. This might be a second home or a new home to them. Or a lot of the times these are builders that have projects that they've got pulled into that just want their reliable team to show up and do the work. And yeah, so we'll go pretty much wherever we need to. We also can just ship cabinets out. We'll build them and ship them. So if somebody, you know, wanted cabinets sent to Michigan, we've got people in our office that'll organize that and drop ship them wherever they need to go. We don't do a ton of that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our everyday radius about an hour or so to the far side of Spartanburg, you know, up to the Lake Huey on the other side of Seneca, Westminster,
Walhalla,
Salem, Highway 11, Table Rock, you know, down to even like Lake Greenwood's about in our distance. So that's like our radius. Yeah, that's
nice.
our radius.
You know, doing a project in your house, and obviously y'all do just kind of everything, big projects, small projects,
right.
But do y'all offer in-house financing, or is that something people need to have lined up?
Most of our clients are going to come to us ready to spend whatever they're doing, whether they've got the money saved up or they're, you know, doing a HELOC on their house or to finance a project, or if they're pulling equity out of their home or whatever the scenario is. Most people come to us ready to spend. We do offer financing. It's a unique program. It works through one of our vendors, actually. If you buy a certain amount of their product, they'll finance your project, obviously with all of the other parameters involved, like credit score and debt to income and all that.
Sure.
Making sense to them. But yeah, you can finance these types of projects. My suggestion to people is don't. I mean, as much as I wouldn't mind the extra business because you can do it, these aren't the types of projects you want to be paying for the next 5 to 10 years, because they're not going to be the same thing they are the day that you get it. Especially, you know, if you got little kids at home, things get beat up. And if you're paying, you know, monthly for something like that, it can be a little bit trying to look at. It's like a car. You buy a brand new car, you got this big fat payment. You know, you're like into it for 5 years. A month in, you got a big scratch on the side of your car. That sucks.
Yeah, somebody, you know, runaway
Yeah.
cart in the grocery store parking lot or whatever.
Exactly. But cars are a horrible investment. So don't go spend 50 grand on a car cash unless you got it. But if you're going to drop 50 grand on your home, you know, especially if it needs it and it needs to be updated and you're positive in your equity and you're in a good neighborhood and it's going to appreciate, right? It's like a no-brainer. Spend the money, enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're not going to go backwards. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, I think most of the housing market in the upstate, considering where we're at and how things are projected for the future, things are going to continue to appreciate. Now, if things stay as they are,
sure,
barring World War III or God knows what.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. But just
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, because this place, as you know, is exploding. And
well, the bubble happened though, so people need to realize too. As much as like, yes, it's going to always hopefully continue going. The bubble happened. I mean, that jump.
It'll happen again.
Yeah, I hope so in my lifetime. That'd be cool. But what I mean is like the upstate was it was an insulated place to begin with, especially in the real estate area. Like the cost of living here was some of the best in the country forever.
Yeah,
it's caught up in a lot of in a lot of ways over the last 5 years after COVID, and you know, so COVID really, you know, did well. It did great things for the upstate, but it also leveled it out with the rest of the country.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways. So you know, but anyway, kitchens, great investment. update your bathroom, your master bathroom, go for it. Ancillary spaces, you could be frugal. We can help people with that too. We have a great program built to really help people in all budgets. And we have to, because we've got people building, got builders building inexpensive spec homes, and we got guys doing a few $1 million projects up at the cliffs. You got to be able to cater to their client. The only thing that doesn't change when you come to us is the process. So whether you're coming to us with a little project or a big project, we're going to give you as much attention as it needs regardless, and show you the best way to get to where you want to be, cost-wise, balance and everything. But we're not compatible with everyone.
Sure.
Although we try to be available to everyone in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people figure out if they want to use us or not.
Yeah. So it still happens from time to time when an entrepreneur comes up with a completely new idea and busts on the scene. You know what I mean? And then there are people who go into business doing the same thing that other people do, which is fine. I had that thought in my mind, and that thought causes hesitancy.
Sure.
Other people are already doing this. Can I really, there were a few guys doing what I wanted to do, and I was hand-wringing over it. Like, can I pull this off? The service already exists. How do I separate myself? All the thoughts.
Sure.
So there's just cabinet shops galore out there. So what made you say to yourself, you know what the upstate really needs? Needs another cabinet shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Well, to be fair, when I started 10 years ago, Blue Ridge Cabinet, this will be going on 10 years now. It wasn't as saturated as it is now.
Sure.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. When I first got to the upstate in like early 2015, I had already been doing this type of work for a number of years in Connecticut, where I grew up. So I came down here ready to do my own thing, not really knowing how awesome the upstate was going to be for this type of business specifically. It was just something that I had. Passion might not be the best word. I am passionate about my business, but I was not passionate about cabinet work before I learned cabinet work.
Yeah. I'm sure there's that guy out there that he loves cabinets.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I can't say I don't love cabinets. Cabinets, they solve a lot of issues in your house. But for me, it was really just, I didn't even think about that stuff. Chris, I swear to God, man, I just was like, you know what? I'm sick of working for other people.
Yeah.
Who dictate my day.
Yeah.
And determine how I get to treat people and how I can operate my business or their business at the time. So going into business for myself was more of like a philosophical thing than it was a strategic thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was more, for me, I was just trying to get my head right and be doing something I enjoyed and just give it my all.
But you were already good at it, though. You had those skills.
Sure. Yeah.
So it just made
sense.
Walk
into it, but so I learned a lot, right, in my previous employment, and then going into business for myself, I got to kind of pick through what I liked and didn't like about the last place, and then learned a lot the first few years, right?
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a saturated market, and I didn't really think about, who am I going to compete against? Of course, I went out and shopped the market and just tried to understand what the upstate had to offer, and. In the beginning, before I had this big old showroom and all this stuff, I was going to just be, you're going to love this, a mobile cabinet shop. Yeah. My first vehicle I bought was a full-size, like, Sprinter van. And the whole vision there was to have a full-size mobile showroom that you roll up to people's homes with who found you through whatever avenue, and then do the whole showroom presentation in their driveway, and then take it into the house and do kind of like the, what was the old vacuum cleaners?
Stanley Steamer?
Yeah. Like do that whole presentation in the house. And I did for the first 2 years. Yeah. Not really working out of the van as much as a lot of warm leads came my way. By the grace of God, I got hooked in with a couple of really busy guys. And yeah, so I did do that for the first 2 years. I worked out of my house. I worked out of my Jeep. I worked out of my open trailer, making deliveries and doing installs. And yeah, it grew. And then we had to grow. So now we have a showroom and all the other stuff. But I think the thing that people need to hear who may want to go off into their own journey of entrepreneurship and like owning their own businesses, you're the difference. And that's the bottom line. That's the answer to your question, is that the answer. We are the difference. You're the difference between you and your competition. And that doesn't mean you're going to win all the jobs or more jobs. It means you're going to get your customers. There's going to be people that like working with Chris. There's going to be guys that like working with Andrew, or people that like working with us. And my team, who are a direct reflection of me and what I'm about and how we like to operate and what we deliver. And that's the difference, you know? Do we have cabinets that are better or worse than anybody else's? No. Cabinets are cabinets. The same cigar guy selling the same cigars you're selling.
Yeah.
You're just doing it in a cooler van, a cooler trailer, and you got the great beard and you got the personality, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that come along with that. But for us, strictly went into it confident, just knowing we can do a great job and we'll see what happens. So you just got to be confident in yourself and know that you'll find your clients, your niche of business will come by just doing your style of business, and then your customers will come. And then that stupid old saying, like, build it and they will come, like that whole thing. You build it and you start growing something, you build a real thing, people are inevitably going to pop in the door.
Sure. No, that's crazy. Just like from the beginning, like this mobile cabinet thing. So did it get to the point in the mobile side that, I mean, that was the birth of Blue Ridge Cabinet, but did it just get to the point where it was like, this is too busy for it to, I have too much for it to stay mobile. I need.
The word is too much. It just got to be too much overall because I needed to bring people in.
Yeah.
So if I needed to bring people in to help manage the flow of the business, I needed a home for them to come to every day.
Yeah.
So Blue Ridge needed an office space. And because we needed an office space, we might as well get a bigger warehouse space. And
so
if we're going to have an office
showroom
space, we could just have customers come to us.
Right.
We still go to every single job site we do, with the exception of those like drop ship ones I was talking about, to go and do site visit measurements and things of that nature. But we're not doing like a sales consultation in the home as much as we're just doing a professional consultation, making sure whatever we're thinking about doing can happen right. And then most of the rest of it gets brought to the shop now. But yeah, in the beginning, we would go and do it all in-house, and it got too hectic to do that every time. And I think there was a point where I thought it was a little bit less my caliber of client, I guess is a good way to put that.
Yeah.
Is that people who they want to see displays. They want to see your quality of work first, you know. So having a showroom with our finish.
I mean, obviously, you can't condense a showroom down to a Sprinter van.
Nope, can't do it. I can bring a bunch of doors and a bunch of countertops in.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same.
And that's why I hate paint swatches. You know, my wife goes to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. She gets all these little paint swatches, and you got this like 2x2 square, and you're holding it up on the wall, and you look at it. But it's like you cannot see that wall all painted that color is going to look totally different than this swatch.
Yeah.
So, you can't just, I can show you a cabinet door I've got in the Sprinter van, but to go into a showroom and see all these cabinets in this finish with this style, it's a totally different animal.
It's a different beast. Yep. And what we really tried to do as we grew through those levels, you know, starting and then where we are now, is we really tried to keep our margins the same and the cost to the client as close to what we were originally, because we were very affordable, you know, in a lot of ways, and we're still really affordable. And when you're comparing apples and apples, but that was a struggle getting from the van to the shop and the showroom and the overhead and the brick and mortar, all the other stuff that goes along with it. That was the biggest challenge.
That's a big challenge for anybody, for any business that is, maybe they've started something and they've just started, whether it's mobile and work from home, but they've gotten to the place where they really want to get to brick and mortar, and now you've got rent and you've got utilities and you've got insurance and you've got employees and you've got, dude, that is such a daunting thing, you know. And I've thought about it. I think less about it than I used to. I think I've come to a conclusion on what I want to do about, you know, cigars for where I'm at.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know how many businesses get to that point and they just crumble because they've got too much to be able to continue to do it from home or mobile, but they don't have enough to go into an actual office space. They can't make the jump, and then that's just the end.
We took baby steps. So it was a move from the van, from the house office to a small, really small setting, inexpensive. Then we moved to our like mid-sized shop. That's where we were for about 5 years, and that was that helped a lot in figuring out the finances, because that's where I gained my team. Most of my team came in, so those parts of the business grew there. And then the jump to the new facility really was just, we're going to pay a little bit more for rent now, or not rent, but pay a little bit more to live there as a business. But that's our forever home. So there's a big investment aspect to that.
Do you own that building?
I do.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's a lot to that. It wasn't just for the business. That was a long-term personal thing too. So a lot of thought went into that. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, 2024, and I went into it already prepared, was a huge growth year just in learning about what it's going to take to maintain and keep up with, to be a commercial property owner, not just renting space and calling the landlord, but having to fix the problems, having to mitigate issues. And then, we also, anyway, we rent some space so not becoming the landlord also. So there was a lot that went into that, but it was the right move. A year and a half or so into this whole thing, like, I feel really good about it. It stresses me out.
Sure.
Monthly, there's that week where you're like, oh God, cutting the checks.
Yeah.
But that's also a blessing. Like, we'll get into it, but coming from where I come from, like, I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
So,
that's the difference going, it's the same on just the personal side, going from renting a home to owning your home, and you have clients being in the real estate. It's like, they buy a home, we go through inspections, you make your suggestions on what we should ask for, or what we should, price reduction, or want them to repair X, Y, Z. And then we close the house, and 2 weeks later, the hot water heater blows up, and they call me, and I'm like, hey man, we talked about this or whatever, but it's like, okay, there's nobody to call. You own this.
Yeah.
This is you now. You can't go back to the previous owner and be like, you should have fixed this, unless unless we work that into the deal.
Yeah.
It's done. This is your baby now.
There's no warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a taillight warranty on a house. You buy it, you do the inspection, whatever. There's a lot of things that get missed in inspections.
Yeah.
I mean, we've bought a few different houses over the years, and most of them gone well, but every once in a while you just get into one, and you just unforeseen. And even the inspectors miss stuff. They're human. It's also stuff you can't see. That is the biggest thing. The hot water heater, you don't know that it's that close to going out on you. That's impossible. You wouldn't know unless you look at the date and you just guess. But but
the thing is, if it may be old, but okay, is it leaking? Right. Are the fittings are the fittings in good shape? So it's 15 years old, 20 years old, but does the hot water work?
Yeah. Is it still hot?
Is it still hot?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got to keep it, and then it craps out on you, 3 weeks later, but there's no way to know that.
SOL.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But so owning the big property now, I say big, just big to me. The larger facility, the larger mortgage, all the stuff that comes along with it. There's a lot of learning in last year, but feeling really good about this year. Feeling really good about what we figured out. Got our kind of ducks in a row.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just wrapped up the first quarter. How'd you do?
First quarter was pretty good. I think end of last year was a little wishy-washy through election time and all that, but the upstate seems to be confident. And it was a good first quarter.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me just go ahead and say to you that having cigars at a party is a great way to add a mark of sophistication. But who wants to just go buy a box of cigars and leave them out on the table? Since you're craving a unique experience, let the cigar box bring the cigar elegance to you. Arriving in a classy, custom-built teardrop trailer, we offer a curated selection of premium cigars and a sophisticated ambiance, all delivered to your location. Whether it's a private party, corporate event, or just a gathering of friends, we will take your event from great to memorable. Book your mobile cigar bar experience today. You can simply visit mobileCigarBox.com, fill out the booking inquiry form, and I will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Professional, right?
I love it.
Sounding good?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a question I used to hate, and you've already touched on this, just that I think I finally found a good answer for, is just what separates you from your competition.
Yeah.
Like why should somebody use the cigar box instead of Castillo Mobile Cigar Lounge, right? Why?
Good luck finding a beard like that.
You're not going to find a beard
That's
like
what I'm
this.
saying.
You know what I mean?
So check that box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, we carry some of the same cigars.
Right.
Now, we don't carry the exact same inventory, but like he's at the end of the day, whether you use me or you use Joe Schmo, whoever he happens to be, you walked up, you got a cigar, and now you're smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
So, and it's the same with cabinets.
Sure.
The
biggest difference, though, just to kind of be straight to the point, is these are humongous purchases for everybody who's coming to our shop. They're not spending a couple $100. These are sometimes people's like whole nut. They're spending.
It's like a $45,000 project or more than that.
Or more, or less. But even if you're spending 10 grand or 30 grand or 100 grand, whatever it is, it's a ton of money. And you've got to feel good about your purchase.
Right.
You need to feel serviced. You need to feel like you're going to get quality. You need to feel like if you've got an issue, which there's going to be an issue, I guarantee it, that you've got a team around you that's not going to hide or try to pass the buck, that you've got people that have proven themselves to be attentive to you and ready to handle whatever question, whatever comes along, and just try to make you as happy as they can. Now, listen, we're in a world full of, unfortunately, of entitled people these days. So there are certain types of customers that come to the door that set off red flags.
Yeah.
And the same way a client looking for a company to work for, and that company might set off red flags for them, it goes both ways. I just can't leave Google reviews on customers, but customers can leave them for me.
Right.
So I say go to Google and go read our reviews. If you want to know how we stand out, just go read it. Go read it from nearly going on 10 years of customers that don't get paid for reviews, don't get paid or given anything to go on there and boast about what we did for them. They're all organic, and we love them, and we love our clients that do them for us. And those are real testimonials from people that we've worked with that should answer almost anything that you've got question-wise about who we are and how we do business. And that's the biggest thing. Now, listen, you may not be able to afford us, okay? We might not be able to get there as quickly as you may need us because you might have waited too long to plan your project out, or whatever other scenario might keep you from coming to others outside of us as a team and as a business. But yeah, Google reviews are huge. Any reviews online, I think, are paramount to making good decision making these days for people that are spending that kind of money.
Yeah.
I think you got to get on, you got to read those reviews, you got to trust them, you got to trust that people go on there and they do that, out of the goodness of their heart and leave those reviews, whether it's a 1-star or a 5-star. I mean, they're doing it because they want other people to be wary or beware, like, hey, these guys are awesome.
Yeah.
So Google reviews are huge. I don't have a beard, but I like to hug people.
You could. I see it on your face.
Not really, no, man. No, it would probably take me a good decade to grow that beard. Yeah. My kids would be in college.
Yeah. It's you made a statement there that, that you may be too expensive for them. And pricing as an entrepreneur is probably one of the most difficult things to settle on. Is my pricing for this service, is it doable? Is it too expensive? Is it too cheap? I recently changed the pricing for my business. I still have questions about it. Did I go too far? But I'm going to give it some more time and revisit that, and we will see. And I also listen to some entrepreneurial minded things. If you have a great product or a great service and you present well, you as a person, because you are the difference maker in your business. It's not your product.
Sure.
Unless it's totally revolutionary,
I've got plenty of Shark Tank ideas, but we're not going to talk about them on the podcast.
Sure. But it's like when people say it's too expensive, it really is. I mean, it's too expensive for you.
It's right.
It's not
for a lot of other people, and how do you structure, how did you structure your price points and things like that? Did you use some sort of an equation, or did you just kind of feel it out, or did you go off of like MSRP for certain things?
No. So what I did was it was probably an amalgam of those things, because I'm not, probably like a lot of business owners or entrepreneurs, you have a great idea, or at least it's great to you,
Sure.
and you want to start a business, but you're not a business person.
Right.
So you don't know, how do I, like, what's my value? How do I price this stuff? Like on the product itself, like if I show up at an event and I'm just selling individual cigars, I shop prices online, right? But I have to understand, if I'm just selling individual cigars, I'm not an online, I can't have online prices because I'm not an online vendor. I'm also not a brick and mortar vendor, and brick and mortar, we know, is pricier than online. I am a boutique concierge service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my prices are going to be elevated to reflect what I am.
Sure.
And I struggled with that, man. I really, really, really struggled with that in the beginning. And I've had some people, tell me, my wife really helped me with this, being a business owner herself.
Yeah.
She's like, look, the whole boutique concierge concept and your prices comes from her. She's like, you're bringing the party to them. They're not, and it's like, okay, dude, if you tell me this cigar is too expensive and I can get it at such and such for X, then my answer is going to be, okay, well, go get it there.
To go drive there.
Go get it and then come back. But as it stands here, I brought the humidor to the party.
Yeah,
these cigars are here. If you want to drive 20 minutes to your brick and mortar and go get it and come back, cool. I don't care. But I also had another guy who is a very savvy business guy tell me, he's like, look, you have to understand, because of the type of service you provide and the things that you do, which is pretty much 100% event-based driven, people generally don't care about paying a few more bucks for a cigar. I had one guy when I was at Greenville Country Music Festival, and he's like, dang, that's expensive. And I'm like, dude, we're at a concert, everything's expensive. And he's like, that's true. And he bought it.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
It's like, well, did you say, dang, it's expensive when you paid $10 for that beer?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
Whenever you're at an event like that, it's like whenever you buy a ticket to go watch the Atlanta Braves play at Truist Park, you're going to pay money, like elevated prices.
You're going prepared.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with me. Now, I have some struggles in my brain about, like vendor pricing. Like if somebody says, hey, I've got this event going, I want you to come be a part of it, but I don't want to pay a package rate. Like, people are going to pay for their own cigars.
Yeah.
So I have a vendor rate. And then, like, if somebody wants to pay me a package rate, but they want to add hours, then I can charge them just the vendor rate for the extra hours. But I have some struggles in my head. I need to talk to some people to try
that's like working with builders compared to working with your direct homeowner. Like, my builders are going to pay less, and everybody knows that your builders are going to pay a little bit less than your everyday walk-in customer, because that builder's bringing me however many projects a year there's residual work there. So,
right. So he gets a break.
So there's volume.
Yeah.
So like if you have an event or a company that's, delivering multiple events to you over the course of the year, then it's, you make up the difference in your volume. And then it's a compound. It compounds, because now you're also going to get in front of all of those people,
right?
Which you may not have because of that company. So
I wouldn't have.
It's like paying, it's like you're kind of like,
it's almost paying like free advertising.
Well, you're paying a little bit of tax by discounting, but by getting in front of all those people. So, when you look back at it over a handful of years, it's like, it's a no-brainer.
It is, because inevitably somewhere in that crowd of people, somebody's son or daughter's getting married. I'm going to meet another business owner who's got this company party coming up, or I'm going to meet this guy who's like, dude, we're doing this golf tournament or whatever.
Yeah, 1,000
and it's gonna drive. So anyway, I looked at those online prices for cigars, kind of did what I wanted to do and elevate the prices, and then I looked at like what the charge. Some of the guys that are doing the mobile cigar thing around here, I'm like, okay, what are they charging? Yeah. And let me look and see, and just, right. Yeah. So that's just kind of how I came up with my pricing. I'm not smart enough or business minded enough to have some type of formula and punch everything in, but I just kind of came up with it that way.
Your product is simple enough where that might not really be needed.
Right.
You know? I think you've got it pretty well figured out as it is. In my case, it's a little bit more involved. Like you mentioned earlier, I mean, it's a saturated market. There's a lot of guys trying to do the same thing, a lot of companies trying to do the same thing. Maybe not look the same, or sound the same, but trying to sell all the same. Cabinets are cabinets, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first started, I really just determined what I need to feel comfortable earning as an individual person, and then I based all my pricing on that, and it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Because I'm fair, right? And I wasn't looking to get rich off of cabinets. I wasn't. I was looking to just do something I enjoyed and get to run my own thing,
make a living.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a living, man. Are you a baseball fan? Yeah, he's a baseball
Braves, they've started out really crappy.
Oh, man, you see the Yankees scored like 30 runs in 3 games. But anyway, 36 runs or something like that. But anyway, yeah, they're nasty. So I'm a Yankees fan.
Yeah, screw you.
Born and raised like an hour out of New York City, to be fair. I'm not like a total front runner. But I always use Derek Jeter. He was always the
captain.
Yeah, man, the Capitan, man. So when I first got into business, I just needed to have some corny pitch, and people would ask you that same question, why should we use you? And I'm like, well, listen, are you a baseball fan? Yes or no? No. Oh, yeah. But you know who Derek Jeter is, right? Oh, yeah. Everybody knows who Derek Jeter is. Well, listen, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Every single person who voted for him in. There was no no's.
That was your line. You should use me because I'm Derek Jeter.
I'm the Derek Jeter of cabinets. Ask how he got in. He wasn't a home run hitter. He hit home runs every seldomly. He was an on-base guy.
Yeah.
He's a leadoff man. He got on base, singles and doubles, RBI guy.
Moneyball. He gets on base.
Get on base, man.
That's a great movie.
It's a great movie. What's his name? Seth. What's his name? Is that Seth?
Who?
It's not Seth Rogen.
No, that's Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, man, I love him. He's the best. Yeah, he's great in a lot of movies. But anyway, that was my stupid little.
You're the Derek Jeter of cabinets.
I was DG, man, DJ, because I just show up. I'm at every game. I don't miss.
You're gonna knock it out.
The injured reserve. I'm always gonna pick up my phone, and I'm only gonna try to get on base. I'm not trying to hit home runs or grand slams off you guys. I just want to make enough to make a living and provide a great product and get your referral.
Right.
I was always working for the referral. I was always working for the Google review. I was busting.
And you've got to, because you're in a business where you're continually working yourself out of a job.
Every time. I mean, it's over. Nobody's doing a kitchen every 2 years. I mean, you could put a $50,000 kitchen in, you're tapped out for a while. And you're not just going to go and rip out that kitchen in 10 years. Right. You're going to let that thing ride as long as you possibly can. And that's where coming to a place like us, we're really going to advise you the right way. We're not going to try to sell you on some crazy Instagram idea. We're going to try to walk some sense and talk some sense into you about the layout, the configuration, the practicality of the space, the way it looks, the colors, a lot of things that go into making it last.
Right. Yeah.
And have you love it long.
So when somebody wants a kitchen overhaul, many of them will go, they'll go to Lowe's, they'll go to Home Depot, they'll sit down with the quote unquote specialist over there.
Yeah.
And they'll go through design and wind up with a new kitchen. And with you, obviously they're going to go through design. You're going to come out to their house, you're going to take measurements, they're going to wind up with a new kitchen. But I have to believe a guy like you that you're giving them a number one, a level of experience, and number two, an attention to detail that they're just not going to receive from a big box who subcontracts the work out to somebody else.
Bit of it. They don't touch or manage anything beyond that sit-down process at the store. Everything they do past that is going to be subcontracted to somebody they don't even know. Just a bunch of installers or whatever that are on a schedule, and they might be good installers. They might be really good.
Yeah.
And the cabinets might be really good. But you got to call an 800 number when things aren't right, and they're never perfect. So, that's a big difference. Home Depot will finance to you 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever, 0% interest. Those are some of the reasons why I tell people, hey, listen, if you need to go and do that, I get it. Go there. If you want some advice, this is even I had a builder who I do tons of work for call me yesterday. What's the cheapest way I can get out of this job? And I said, well, not here. I said, I'd go to Home Depot and I'd go buy some off the shelf stuff. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, just give me the measurements. I'll tell you what to buy. So, I mean, that's where we're at. But, you want to, this is a fun one, right? How much would you spend on a really good cheeseburger?
How much would I spend on a really good cheeseburger?
Personally.
Me personally.
Yeah. Like, what's like too much to spend on a really good cheeseburger?
I don't know. I can be kind of cheap. So
be cheap.
Yeah, I mean,
Be cheap.
I like
a really good cheeseburger.
Yeah, like I'm probably going to top out at like $20.
That's a pretty reasonable amount of money for a cheeseburger.
I think so. That's maybe even generous.
It's ground beef. Okay.
Right.
It's ground up leftovers.
Like if I'm going, I've probably spent more than that.
It's like 100% chuck, or if they're delivering you some Wagyu, so maybe I can justify. But I bring that up to say this is I treat the cabinet business and comparing ourselves like a Home Depot and stuff like that. Home Depot's fast food. You're going to spend $12 on a cheeseburger nowadays at McDonald's. You get French fries with it and a sugar drink, but it's $12 to go to McDonald's and eat lunch.
Yeah.
Or you can go downtown to like Grill Marks and you could spend $20 and you can get like a fresh ground beef chuck patty on a brioche bun with fresh trimmings and curly fries, and you spent $23. So you spent like twice as much money, but you got a way better product. So if you value the better cheeseburger and you're cool with spending $20 on it, it doesn't even compare. The experience doesn't compare. Drive-through window, somebody who forgot your order, forgot to throw the ketchup packets in, forgot the straw for the drink, or you go to like a restaurant, an establishment where people get tipped and there's cooks in the back that are like, that's their livelihood, and I don't know, it's night and day. So I compare ourselves to just like, not a fine dining establishment because that's a little too far.
Yeah.
But we're like a good restaurant where you'd spend $20 on a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be McDonald's.
Yeah.
At all.
Sure.
I don't know. If people want McDonald's, don't come to us.
Sure, go to Lowe's.
I will eat McDonald's at the end of a poker game, though.
Yeah, I'll smash it. Yeah. Well, and I'll say this. Look, I mean, I understand, like, places like Lowe's and Home Depot, they exist for a reason. They're good at what they do. I totally get that. And look, I used to work at Lowe's years ago in the appliance department, and I'll just go ahead and say it. Like, not all, but many of those people that work in the department, in the kitchen cabinet department, or even in the appliance department, they never have had any experience whatsoever with designing or overhauling kitchens or appliances. They are hired by Lowe's or Home Depot. They're put through these computer training modules and they're sent off to make sales. And I know that for a fact because I worked in the appliance section,
which is right.
I got hired. I did not know the first thing about the only thing I knew about a washer and dryer was how to use it.
Yeah.
But what they do is they hire you, they sit you down at a computer, you've got to watch these, 15, 20-minute module, click through, listen to this, answer these questions. All right, go to the appliance department, do your thing.
Good luck.
Yeah, and I don't tell me about this refrigerator, the side-by-side refrigerator freezer combo. Keeps your food cold? Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But you are a legit cabinet professional.
That's right. So that's the best way to put it. We're professionals.
Yeah.
We're professionals at what we do. And we take a lot of pride in it and knowing those answers. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's pretend somebody's listening to this podcast. I mean, hopefully somebody is listening to this podcast.
For your sake. Yeah. It's just a fun afternoon.
Yeah, well, hey, look, I looked at there are some people listening to my podcast, for which I'm grateful. By the way, I'm one of those listeners. I listen to my own show just to help the algorithm. You know what I mean?
Oh, you also got to critique yourself.
Yeah, I do.
That's really important.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah.
And so in the last 30 days, I had 80 hours of listening.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some people out there listening, and if that's you, thank you. Whoever you are listening to this right now, I appreciate you.
I was good for 2 of those hours this past week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. But if somebody's listening, let's pretend somebody's listening to this podcast and they've been dreaming about a new kitchen.
Sure.
By the way, I told my mom about you the other day. She wants a new kitchen, dude. But I'm telling you, my mom is particular, dude. I just love you, Mom.
Yeah. We'll take care of Mom.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
So Do you like it when do you like it when people come to the shop and they have a blank slate, no idea what they want, or do you like people that come in with a plan and you can just knock it out? And I mean, I can see the pros and cons to both sides.
Yeah, then, we'll keep it short. Any scenario is good with us. Somebody coming in who knows what they want makes life pretty simple, right? We're just going to.
Well, how do you handle the people that come in and know what they want, but it's a bad idea?
Oh, well, we will make professional suggestions.
Yeah.
And we are never shy.
I mean, because at the end of the day, it's your job to give them what they want.
And that's the bottom line, is that whatever you want, Mrs. Jones, you can have. I'm just trying to walk you through this. I've done this a few thousand times. And sometimes what people want isn't always like a can't do, but they might not have known other ways of doing it. So it's not really like me trying to like buck their system as much as it's like, well, listen, if I don't do my job by presenting to you all of the opportunities that you might have or all of the situations that are available to you with the finished product, then I'm not doing my job, because you came here because you were looking for a professional. So this is what you brought me. Cool. Now, on the right side of that and the left side of that, there's a bunch of other things you can think about. Let me just show it to you. And a lot of times people change what they thought they wanted because you start making sense.
Yeah.
And that's what we are. We're just practical designers. We design with practicality at the front, and then, like, I hate to say it, but like the aesthetic at the back. So like once we've come up with a plan for the client that's practical in the sense of it's a good working space, function, all of those things, then you get to have fun with, does she want to paint them Clemson orange or not?
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Well, people have done it.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, mostly bar spaces.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got a man cave downstairs and you're a big sports nut and you want to do Clemson orange or
that's
whatever.
Fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Just don't paint your kitchen like mauve.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what color that is.
Yeah.
What's the family? What color family is mauve in?
It's like
pink?
in the purpley pink family. Yeah.
Okay. Don't do that.
Nah.
It's going to hurt your resale value.
Yeah.
Trust me, as the realtor, as the cabinet professional, two of us together.
Don't do it.
When I take somebody into that house and I show them your mauve kitchen, they're going to be like,
so they thought they were going to live here forever.
Yeah. Well, I remember a house I sold in Easley last year. It was weird. This lady was moving down from Jersey, and I took her on, like, I had her on video chat, walking her through the house, and we got to the bathroom. Mind you, I haven't seen this house. It's my first time in the house too. Opened the bathroom, dude, and the walls are purple.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, and I opened the door, and my first thought was, crap, this is terrible. And she's like, oh, I love purple. It's that's my favorite color. And I'm like, hey man. So I'm sure there's somebody out there that just loves mauve.
Yeah.
And they would love to have a mauve kitchen. But on general terms, not a good idea. Excuse me.
But getting back to just, if somebody walks in blank slate, it's fun because we get to be more creative in the front end of things. And that's a big part. Like my team of designers, we're all just, we all probably could have gone to school to be architects. You know what I mean? Like if that was the direction at a young age, my designers have that brain. They've got great architectural, vision. They've got, and they keep up with the trends too. So they're always like looking to see what people will like now, and then kind of blending that with what's going to be neutral enough to like kind of survive 20 or 30 years too.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you're not doing this every 10 years.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you hit on something earlier that's important when you're talking about, as the professional, it's my job to show you possibilities and show you other options, because, standing across from you in your showroom, I'm sure there's people who come in with that attitude, that mindset that this guy's going to try and upsell me on X, Y, and Z. Yeah. But it's like, look, man, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to offer a solution to the things that you want to do, but I wouldn't be doing my job. You've got a great idea, but here's some other things for you to consider.
Yeah, just consider.
It's not like I'm trying to.
Hard no's are my favorite. Hard no's are better than hard yeses.
Yeah.
Like if you blank slate somebody, comes in blank canvas, and you do a fun, kitchen design for them, and they come back with a list of no's. I'm like, great. That's just as good as yeses, if not better. Because hard no's means we can just eliminate that from any other thing we're thinking about and just move to getting you into the yeses. But it's also not as complicated as I might be making it sound. You know what I mean? It's a freaking kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? You need to put a stove in. You need to put a fridge in. Most people want a microwave. You got to have a dishwasher these days. Are you a cook or are you the takeout family? Do you need to have the 48-inch range? No. Those are all quick questions you can work through pretty fast. And I also ask people to always come to me with something that is like in the design side of things is like a yes already for them, whether it's the color of their floor, the color of the wall, the couch that they want to pick up off of, something, and then we kind of work from there. But yeah, your mom will get that experience if she comes down.
Yeah.
She gets to see how it all happens.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I know you said that you're fine with whoever comes in your shop, the people that are blank slate or the people that already have a plan, but I'm going to ask you to take a position here. Like,
Sure.
What's some things that you would love for people to have thought through before even walking through your door?
Appliances.
Really?
First and foremost, what do you want for your appliances?
So because you want to build the kitchen around the appliances or what?
You have to. Yeah, the size of the fridge, the range, and all that stuff.
Is it counter depth? Is it not?
Those are all going to be really important factors to how, first of all, how the cabinets end up getting built, but also what space we have to work around, because those are fixed pieces. You're not changing those. If somebody's got a 48-inch range, that's a 4-foot section of kitchen that you can't put any cabinetry in. So, and a standard range is 30, standard being like the most common size. It's not a standard. There are different standard sizes.
Right.
That's the most common, like a 30-inch range. So if somebody comes in with a 48, or if somebody comes in and doesn't tell us anything, and we design it around a 30, and then they're like, oh, we're doing a 60-inch range with a 60-inch hood.
Viking, wolf, whatever.
Yeah, it throws a lot of things off. So first and foremost, appliances, and then outside of that, really not much. I mean, if they know like what color they like, if they're like, we're a white kitchen family, okay, cool. If we want stain grade, oak, come to us with some inspiration pictures. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might be the same answer to a different question. Conversely, what are some things people aren't thinking about when it comes to redoing their kitchen that they should? Appliances.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, again, yeah, you can put that at the top. But if you want to go deeper into that.
Yeah.
I mean, structural things. If it's a renovation, it's tough. There's a lot of nuance to renovation work, a lot more than there is in like new construction, right? So you get into like new construction, those plans are pretty much built. Those people spent time deciding on the new plans for their house. So that kitchen layout, the way the walls are, where things are kind of located in general, you're not going to move very much. But somebody coming in who wants to do like maybe an overhaul of their home, and they're doing like a more in-depth renovation, there's a lot to think about. Just wall placement and furniture placement outside of the kitchen, right? Like a lot of open floor plans nowadays. So people want to open up their house. They always want to open up the walls and connect the kitchen to the living room and make it one big family space. And I love that. That's how our house is. But you got to think about the furniture, because like if you want that big old freaking sectional, with the recliners and everything else, and it takes up a lot of floor space, and your island might be a little too big for that. So, coming to us with as much as you can is always helpful, but, I don't know. Every single job has its challenges.
Yeah.
Every house, they're all, the same but different. So,
I mean, I feel like the open floor plan is a blessing and a curse all at the same time, because it's great to walk into this big space where, like you said, the kitchen is connected to the living room or to the dining room, and it's kind of this nice flow. But like as my wife has complained, if you're a family and you've got some nice hutches, you got some antique furniture, there's no wall to put anything on.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like,
yeah, I get it.
There's no division for me to put this thing somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to think through that. And if you're overhauling not only just the structural stuff, you're moving electrical, you're moving water lines, you're moving, and that can be.
There's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I've always wanted that I've never had, and this is just a small thing for me. Of course, we don't need enough pasta here to justify it, but I've always wanted a pot filler. Just right on the back of the range right there. Yeah. Just pull it out, fill up your pot while it's on the stove.
Easy add-ons when you're in the middle of it. It's just a little, it's just a water line. A lot of people do them. They're cool. They are cool. But the thing I laugh about people is like, you know what would be cooler than the pot filler being there is being like an automatic strainer of some sort. Because Mrs. Jones puts the pot there to fill it up the water, but she's allowed to pick it up and bring it to the sink to strain it. So it kind of, you still got to pick up that 30, 40 pound big pot of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I joke with people. I'm like, yeah, pot fillers, You still got to move it. At some point, you're going to have to pick it up and carry it somewhere.
We get a built-in pizza oven.
That's easy. That's fun. And there's companies that are just building those now. Yeah, man. When you go to okay, it would be cool if the cigar show and the builder show were back to back. Because then I'd be like, meet me out there. We spend a day at the cigar show or two or whatever, and you go spend a day at the builder expo and the kitchen and bath expo. It's arguably the coolest show for anybody that owns a home.
I love watching all this crap, all the reels you find on Instagram and like all the new cool stuff they're doing with kitchen sinks and stuff spraying out of the side and different spray patterns and just, I saw one guy freaking like pouring like a drink under the cabinet, like out of his sink faucet. Like he's got this freaking kind of tap thing, and you can like put a selector on the spray nozzle of your
pressure setting or something.
Spray nozzle of the pull down handle for the sink, and he's like pouring bourbon out of it.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah, and I'm like, what is the like freaking Frankenstein? And it runs through his thing. Yeah, you just
for bourbon.
Yeah, you just move your selector on your thing, and then it pours. And
Doesn't
I'm like,
suck. That sounds pretty sick. That's the kind of stuff you'd see there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've never even seen that. What I have been doing recently is when you go to the bar and they got the glass rinsers at the bar.
Dude, I want one of those so bad.
Oh, we could retrofit one in your kitchen in like 3 hours.
Just put your thing upside down and
yes, it's the coolest thing ever. Jacqueline's making us do that at the new house.
I don't blame her.
My wife is one of the easiest going people you'll ever meet. She doesn't really ask me or ask herself for much. But when we decided we were going to do this move and we're talking about this kitchen, renovating this kitchen, she was like, I want this. And she showed me the pen. I was like, absolutely. She was like, well, yeah, mostly for the bottles,
sure,
little kids. But I'm like, well, that's great for the beer glasses too.
Oh, dude.
And the whiskey glass.
Every glass.
And just rinsing out any glass. Exactly.
If it's a cup, if it's upside down, bam, done.
Even if it's clean, I'm going to use it. Yeah, just for fun. But they're cool. They're super, and you can retrofit that into your kitchen super easy.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah, it's so easy.
Well, I know we've got to get drawer pulls and handles from you, and I know we got that covered. But we'll do the thing on there. Yeah, I know a guy. Well, and I told my wife it would really just make her upset, but because she really did knock that pantry out of the park, dude. She killed it. But I just I want to put a double-headed tap under there, and on one side we'll put probably nitro coffee, and on the other side I'll put like a Dr. Pepper. Just have a Dr. Pepper, of course, I don't drink near as much soda as I used to drink, which is a good thing.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, she just kind of, I don't know. She gave me the wife look, you know what I mean? It's just like, what are you, a moron?
That grows on him. Yeah, it'll grow on her.
Yeah, just like my beard. It just grows on him. You know what I mean?
Get over it. That's pretty fun.
What's some of the funnest kitchen stuff that you've done?
I always like when people bring us like pet stations because before kids, we were obsessed with our animals. So, we were a dog family. So, some of the most fun.
Kids are basically little animals.
They are until about 5 and then they
turn into gremlins.
Yeah. Full blown
terrorists.
But terrorists. There you go. Little bastard. Anyway, yeah. Dog stations are fun.
What's a dog station?
Yeah. I mean, I'll show you a video later, but we just did one really cool. So this woman had a section off of her kitchen, and her kids are gone. It's like empty nester situation. They've got 3 big dogs. They have like a Mastiff and 2 German Shepherds, and she's like, I need an area to keep all their food. I want like a specific area to feed them. Yada yada. And I was like, okay, cool. Show me where you want to do it. And she had a pretty good space. It was probably at 7 linear feet of area, and I'll show you a picture. I wish your listeners could see it, but it's we created a banquette of cabinets, pullouts for their dog food, pullout that has their leashes and their collars hanging on them. We created a trough area because, as she said, they drink and make a huge mess. So we built this cubbied area and lined the interior of this space with quartz so that it's waterproof. and then we put a trough sink like you would put like in a bathroom, but a little bit deeper, and we direct plumbed it and put a pot filler on the wall. And so she has a pot filler and a direct drain built into this trough style sink, so she can fill it up and drain it all in the same place. The dogs can go in there, make a big mess, get it all wet. It's all waterproof.
Dude, that's awesome.
It was awesome. Built another little cabinet off to the side and recessed the dog bowls into it, so she can, like, you know, like a dog tray that like people buy like from like Wayfair or something, but much cooler. So stuff like that's always fun, you know, a little bit out of the box, and we get to just kind of come up with something cool and sell the idea. And the 3D imaging is what sells that stuff, right? Because like I could talk about it, you'd be like, wow, he sounds like he's gonna have a lot of fun doing this. But you want to see what it's going to look like. So that 3D modeling, we build all that and we show it to you. And it was like, she was all in. So stuff like that. We call them cabinets. So we'll take like a cabinet in like a laundry space or maybe off of a utility area, and we'll create a functional cabinet for the customer, and inside it will be their litter box set up, so you don't have to look at it or smell it. In a couple of them, we actually got low voltage fans and ducted them down to the exhaust them down to the crawl space, so the cat would walk in.
Feel sorry for the home inspector going in inspect that crawl space.
What's that smell?
It's foul in here.
Yeah, man. But yeah, those are fun. And then kitchens, you know, they have their own always have their own unique little thing that you can kind of put your touch on. But yeah, those are the fun ones.
Dude, that sounds freaking awesome.
Trailers are cool too. People bring like their old, what do they call them? The big silver bullet looking Airstreams.
Oh, I bet that's fun.
Yeah, we've done a handful of those. Those were really cool. You know, you got to retrofit, and those are all custom. So we're building all that in the shop.
Yeah, that was my original idea for my cigar trailer, was just a huge Airstream.
It's hard to get around, but
it is. Now, I mean, obviously I can go places they can't go, but there's various reasons I chose not to do that. The biggest, which was finances. But
how cool would it be to have a mobile smoking room?
Well, you know, but there's a guy around here that has one.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's cool, but
does he have that beard?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think he could win that.
No. Well, but the thing is that I've learned if I'm doing, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, what kind of event, right? People are not going into your trailer and sitting down for a whole hour to stay in there and smoke a cigar. No. It's cool to go in, get your cigar, maybe take a few photos, and then you're out.
That's what it is. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. So, but mine is, you don't have to go in anything.
No.
It's super sweet. You walk up, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Here's a cigar. And then you're on to the music or your next drink, or going to get your crawfish, or going to get your barbecue, or exactly.
You're a pit stop.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, man. You know what? I think we're going to take a break right here because I want something to drink.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll be back in just a minute. All right. We are back.
Yo.
Back with Andrew Rodriguez from Blue Ridge Cabinets. So let me just jump in here and say that if you are looking to buy or sell a beautiful home in Greenville, South Carolina, because frankly, who isn't? South Carolina is one of the top destinations in the nation. Did you know that we just recently passed up Texas as the #1 destination in the country?
No idea.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised.
No, not at all.
This place is awesome.
It is. People are moving here in droves, and maybe you want to buy a home and grab the equity that will come over the next decade in the upstate, or maybe you want to capitalize on the great need for housing and sell your home for top dollar. As a realtor with C. Dan Joyner and a member of Nexus Group, I am your local expert. It's our aim to get you the best deal in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of disturbance to your personal life. We offer a personalized experience, paying great attention to your needs, a service-oriented mindset, expert market analysis, and proven results. We will guide you through every step of the way, whether that's from downtown condos to spacious family homes. We're here to serve you. Let our experience work for you. You can call me direct at 864-207-2316 or visit my website, Chris Strother, that's STROTHER, chrisstrother.cdanjoyner.com. So moving on from cabinets, man, let's get personal.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into the personal section.
Cool.
Because I like I really do enjoy this podcast. I love the cigar section. I love connecting our community and our business owners with one another. But one of the things I like to try and do is just really, who is Andrew Rodriguez? You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about who you are as a person, where you come from, your passions, that kind of stuff. You told me that you're a son to an immigrant father and an American mother. Where'd your dad come from?
My dad was born and raised in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, he's bringing the good smokes.
That's why, yeah, when you said the Dominican, yeah. Yes. I've actually seen people roll cigars when I was young. And they had like these street cigar spots. You'd roll up and they'd roll them right there for you.
Yeah.
And my Italian grandfather, who's my mom's father, he was the cigar smoker that I was telling you about earlier. And he came with us one time down there and he bought a bundle of them. And I'll never forget him stashing them in his suitcase and bringing them back to the United States. And yeah, it was pretty cool. But they didn't look like these. They looked like little torpedoes.
Sure.
Yeah, they were pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought about, and I probably will here in the next several weeks when it crosses my mind again. I just want to order some tobacco online. There's several places you can do that from. Like Total Leaf Supply is one. You can just go in there, make your selection of what tobacco you want, and they'll just send you leaves.
That's cool. It's like making your own wine.
Yeah, and I just want to get some and just kind of practice like making my own cigar.
Yeah.
And what I would do is I would make a more of what's called a chair root. I mean, it is a cigar, but there's no cap. So it's open on the foot and the head.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably just use some local honey as my binder, so it'll stick together.
Cool.
And then let it sit, and I don't know, just for fun.
Hey, even if it sucks, it'll be cool.
It is, yeah, 100%. It's probably going to suck at first because you always suck.
Homemade wine always sucks.
Yeah, the first time you do anything, you usually suck at it.
Yeah, but it's the adventure, man.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
So dad from the DR.
Dad from DR, yep. And my mom was born and raised here in the United States. She's like second generation. My grandparents
in New York, right?
Up in Connecticut. So my mother's from Connecticut. Like, she was born and raised in Connecticut. It's where I was born and raised. My parents met working in Connecticut. My dad is from DR, immigrated here in his 30s. He's the oldest of 9. So he's the oldest of 9 siblings. I've got a really full family. I think we counted it a couple times. We were like 35 first cousins on my dad's side of the family. So it's a big family. And my mom's one of 5, so it's not small on that side either. So really family oriented upbringing. My aunts and uncles all lived within like 10-15 minutes of us. Some on the Dominican side, some on the I call it the Italian side, the American side. Yeah, that's my parents. So
was your dad whenever he came to the States, I mean, was he getting into cabinets and construction?
No, my dad probably doesn't even know how to use a hammer still. No, he's the most mechanically
uninclined
or disadvantaged like person you've ever met. He's killer with a shovel and a rake. My dad is like the green thumb. If you've ever met the green thumb, that guy can make anything grow. He always had the most ridiculous gardens, still does. He can plant and grow just about anything that you want to eat. But no, he couldn't he could barely put a light bulb in. But my mom, on the other hand, was very mechanically inclined, still is. She's the kind of lady that fixed the toilets and fixed the plumbing and had to, because we didn't grow up with much. So she always did that. So watching her, but I was raised around a bunch of people in trades, so it wasn't far-fetched for me to end up where I'm at. But I didn't have any passion about this ever. And I said, ever. I went to school. I went to college, quote unquote. I went to a business school for hospitality and for restaurant and culinary. So my schooling is nothing to do with cabinet work or countertops, but
so funny. Most people never even wind up doing what they went to school for.
No, and most people don't end up doing what they thought they were going to be passionate about when they were a young person too.
Yeah.
If I could have been whatever I wanted to be, I would have been a rally car driver in Europe. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. I've been doing 130 kilometers down a back, dirt road.
Was that the dude who one guy's a driver and the other dude's sitting there with a map?
Yeah.
And they're just doing their thing. Ugh.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some serious gall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a big set,
it's
swinging.
yeah, swing it. Yeah, and that's I would love to hobby that one day. That would be a
Yeah.
fun hobby, but maybe not, risking my life like those guys, but just driving around and having that kind of experience. But yeah, no, cabinet, we ended up here. But my family, my upbringing was, it's just really tight family, man. Just really tight family. Really close with my siblings. And the immigrant part of that conversation, right? That the important part of that was my dad's work ethic is stupid compared to your average human being. That guy had to work hard. He's got pulled out of school when he was in 6th grade to help support the family. I mean, those are real stories in those countries, Well,
that's depending on how old your parents are, that's a real story here.
My dad turns 80 this year.
Yeah. Okay. My dad's 75.
Yeah.
And, he tells me, going to school, but helping, like, you gotta milk the cows, you gotta feed the cows, you gotta feed the chickens.
Yeah.
You gotta, all that stuff that he used, you gotta bale the hay or do the hay, all that stuff that he used to have to do during the summers or even during the school year. You got to get up before school and do this stuff and then go to school and then come home from school and do more stuff.
Yeah.
And we're just, and I think it's just kind of the slow creep of Civ, where every parent, and this is a natural desire, every parent wants their children to have it better,
of course,
than they did. And there's something good about that, but if you're not careful, you wind up making lazy children because you don't teach them how to work.
Well, I think the other part of that statement is you want to give your kids more than you got, or you want them to be better off than you were. But you can't forget, if you're the type of person who has excelled in life or has chased down a dream or has made a footprint somewhere along the way, why you are the way you are.
You had to work for it.
You had to work your butt off for it. You know what I mean?
Say it.
Yeah,
you know
what I'm saying.
We can mark it.
Yeah, no, I'll
explicit
keep
episode.
I'll keep it clean. But you got to work your butt off.
Yeah.
And you got to be ready to be uncomfortable. You have to be ready to put yourself in situations. You got to figure stuff out. And you can't make them soft by giving them everything. And that was a big thing growing up, is like they didn't have everything yet. And
they didn't have much to give you.
And they didn't have much to give. So we watched them work their butt off to get what they ended up with and what they have. And on the same side of that, conversation, it made me and my siblings, the same way. We're all super hardworking people, and we do stand out amongst a lot of our peers growing up. Because, for example, I went to work at like 15. Before I even had a driver's license, I was like, all right, like if I want to take that girl out on a date, like Dad's not throwing me $20.
Right. If you want to have some pocket money.
Throwing out a little couple bucks and I'm blessed for it. So as much as my kids could have it easier, they're not gonna.
Right.
They're not, for sure.
No, you got to teach them.
They got to learn it themselves too.
Sure.
They got to want for things. They need to want for, to learn. They got to want to do, want to have, And
it's the same way when my very first job, I think it was when I was 16 years old, I went to work for the school district during the summer, mowing lawns, cleaning the schoolhouse, painting the stadium, doing all that crap. Because like in the summertime, if you want to, in video games back then, we're still relatively new, so we played outside. We rode our bikes until dark.
Yep.
Mom, I'm going to Justin's house. I'll see you later. All that stuff. But it's like if you're 16 years old and your friends are going to the movies and you want to go, well, you better get some money.
Yeah.
And there's only one way to do that. My parents were kind. They gave us some money here and there, but
for sure,
we didn't get a weekly allowance.
No
we
way.
Didn't, you go to work.
But you still did the dishes and took out the garbage.
Yeah, dude, my thing was, all right, I'll tell you. And my dad, I watched him work hard. I watched him my dad worked in the oil refinery. He started as a pipe fitter. When I was a young boy, my mom and my dad, in junction with her mom and dad, they took their hand. My dad, there was a big layoff, and my dad took the severance package, and they tried to start a road construction company. Lasted a few years, and then he wound up getting back on at the plant, which was a huge deal. But I watched him work his way up, from just the grunt work of being a pipe fitter to inspector, sitting at his desk most of the day, reading reports, doing all that stuff, inspecting vessels. I watched him put in a lot of overtime, a lot of turnarounds, working 7/12s for 2 months at a time, whatever. And he worked hard for it to give them what they now have.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I was going somewhere with that. I don't remember exactly where, but it's just, and I know a guy who owns a cigar company, and I was asking him about, do you have kids that work in this? And he's an older gentleman. Do you have kids that work with you in your cigar company? And he said no. He said one of his kids had passed away already, I think. But no. But he said I have a daughter, and her husband worked with me for a while. And he said it's always a sad memory for me. But then he made the statement. He's like, people don't understand that if you want to get ahead, you got to work. But he's an old guy, and they understand it.
And then there's the second part of that too, which is you got to work hard, and then you got to work smart.
Yeah,
you can't just be spinning your wheels. So you got to listen. You got to be willing to listen to the people that are older than you, that have gone through some things, that have experienced life, and not just be those types of people that have to put their hand on the burner every time to figure it out. Yeah. Life is it's a journey. My parents really did give us a head start, though, in terms of that part of it. We knew we weren't going to get anything handed to us.
Yeah.
And it was actually a blessing. And it's a cool way to, look back on your life and appreciate that. Because I think some people feel shorted because maybe like their buddy next door got everything handed to them. And don't get me wrong, there's moments in time where you're always wishing you were in somebody else's shoes. But I think as I've gotten older, all I can do is say thank you to all of that, because I wouldn't have the drive to succeed in my life, whether that means whatever to me that is different to every person's success. But that success in my mind was to be self-sufficient and to not have to worry too much. And, you still worry, and now with kids, you worry about different things.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I think being an entrepreneur like you, like me, starting businesses, starting a company, one of the great rewards is not just the business, but it's the innovation. It is that if you're going to do this, you're going to have to figure it out.
Adapt and overcome.
You're going to have to figure it out. Like for this podcast, which who knows if it will ever be monetized and have enough listeners, but I love that. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there for me. Like I wanted to do a podcast, and I really, really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I went through about 4 different iterations, trying different microphones and different setups before I finally figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
But because I wanted to do this bad enough, I had to figure it out. And because
I'm not to figure it out.
You
didn't quit.
I didn't quit. And a lot of people, whenever they want to do something, but they try and they fail, and they try and they fail, and they try and they fail, and they let that failure they finally just quit. They finally give up. But when I was working in the butcher shop, we had a guy would always say, one of my coworkers, his name was Trey. He just said it as a joke. It's like, I can't make this cut. I can't get, enough sausage into this casing. I'm having trouble with this. And we would just say to one another, well, how bad do you want it? That's the joke. But that's a real question that I ask myself all the time now. How bad do you really want to have a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want it, we're here now. This is episode 24.
Yeah.
And I've got other episodes that are bonuses and cigar reviews and stuff, but it's like, okay, I wanted it bad enough to figure it out. Did I want a cigar trailer? Yes. I started with a 8-foot folding table and a 10x10 pop-up tent, but I wanted it. So I made it happen. I did the events. I made the phone calls. I sent the emails. I sent the direct messages, and I still do. You have to. How bad do you want it? And that's the work ethic.
Foot to the floor, man. Foot to the floor. I'll let up when I die. That's what I say. But you always, for me, it's been, kind of one thing after the next. I'm not saying we've mastered the cabinet world and all that. There's plenty left to learn, and there's plenty left to learn in that business sector by itself. But I'll tell you, like, becoming a father and being a husband is like now this new mission that I've taken to like that same level of like put the foot to the floor and figure it out. Because I know there's no real book to read on how to be a perfect dad or how to be a perfect husband. I know that's not even a thing, but it's just as much fun in that personal part of my life now to like use that same mentality of like, you got to work hard at it. Like, it's not just going to happen overnight. Like, your great marriage isn't just going to bloom and be there. Like,
no, marriage is work, man.
Oh man, it's full time. And you just, the only thing you can do to prepare you is pick the right person. I don't know. I mean, I got lucky, I think. I got lucky. God just dropped her in my lap. She can deal with my BS, and I somehow am able to deal with hers. And I think it's all, it's life, but
I understand what you're saying. My belief is marriage is much more about being the right person than it is finding the right person. Look,
I get it. I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there are millions of women in this world, millions of women in this country, tens of thousands in this community, and there are scores of them that would work for you. However, none of them will work if you're not the right person.
Right.
Like, it's about being the right person. It's about how do I love this woman, because if you love her in the right ways that speak to her, that is why she puts up with your BS.
Exactly.
Because you love her and you give her the things that she needs from a husband. It's not about her, it's about you. And of course that works on the flip side too.
And I think that's the fun part of figuring it all out too, because I think that changes a little bit as you grow with somebody too. Life changes.
You change. You're not the same dude you were 3 years ago or a year ago.
And that's the work.
Yeah.
And that's the work. Because I feel like the passion and the love and all that stuff like that, you can't let it go. But like that initial phase of relationship.
Well, here's what I found. Here's what I found about that is, like, and I get it, especially if you run into somebody and you get married, those very, in your early 20s or whatever it is, the attraction's there, and you haven't physically been together yet, and the hormones are running high, and over time, obviously you want to keep the bedroom hot. You do. However, some of those heavy emotions and that drive, I mean, it will fade, but the love and the commitment becomes much deeper, which
it's a different reason
balances.
Yeah, there's a different reason for
things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Back to your dad.
Oh my gosh, that guy's got 3 families.
So we're chatting when you were here a few weeks ago at Dad's night. Yeah. You can twist that if it's.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's back in the DR.
Yeah, he lives in the DR full time. Yeah.
Okay. What does he do down there? Well, he's retired now. He's 80 years old.
Yeah, he's going to be 80 in May. So he's kind of living the retired life, and but he has a family there too, post me and my sisters. And
he's still in contact?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My dad's a great guy. He's a cool guy. He's a guy's guy. He gets along with just about anybody. He's a fun, loving, charismatic guy. He had to be, he grew up tough. He had to put the world on his shoulder at a young age, but he came out smiling. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not without his flaws, of course.
Well, nobody is.
Nope.
Yeah. So I came to your house last July 4th when it was nice and cool. And July 4th bash last summer. Y'all doing that again?
Rod Squad 4th of July party.
But you can be in your new house though, yeah?
We're going to be moved by then, but yeah. Well, every year, man, that's my favorite day of the year.
Okay. Had a great time. But I'm going to tell you, you smoked some serious briskets. And I'm a Texas man, native Texas. I'll always be. So brisket's the king of barbecue. That's
you got an opinion.
I got an opinion. You did, man. High praise.
Thanks.
Good stuff.
I appreciate this.
So, is outdoor cooking, smoking meats, is that like a passion of yours, or is it just food in general, or?
Yeah, I'd say food is a passion. It's definitely rooted in our family. Being Italian, you can imagine, our lives basically revolved around the next meal. Yeah. Oh, ciao bella. Yeah. No, but And then my dad.
Do you put pineapple on pizza?
Heck no. But Jacqueline does. I'll eat it. Well, I'll never order it. My dad too. That my dad's in a country like the DR, growing up the way he did, they cooked every meal. There was no going anywhere to get a dinner.
It's chicken and rice, baby.
Yeah, and some of the best food you'll ever eat is that Caribbean style. And each island has their flair, but the DR's got some seriously awesome food. And so yeah, food's a passion. I'm also just the kind of guy that likes to be good at whatever I'm trying to do. So brisket being like the hardest thing to cook.
Yeah.
I took a passion in that about 4 years ago.
It's a labor of love, man. It's a long process.
Oh, it's a 3-day process. It starts 3 days before we eat. People like my friends tell me that, like, man, that was really good. And I'm like, good, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm like, that's why we do it.
It took me 72 hours.
Yeah, 24-hour dry brine, and then it's rests, and then I'm smoking it for 20 hours, and then resting it for 4, and then finally slicing it open. But yeah, I love all that. Outdoor smoking, outdoor cooking is definitely something new. I spent time, like I told you, in a culinary school, so I've got some like professional kitchen background. I worked under some cool chefs in my early 20s and learned a lot. I learned a lot there, and then but now we just do it for fun. But I do have this little backdoor dream that my wife is on board for, and I don't know what that will end up being.
Open a barbecue shack?
No, I don't think it would be a specific. I want to, how like you got your boutique cigar, trailer, and it's a boutique thing, and you're able to, get a couple bucks extra for that cigar. I've always really dreamt of having like a 4-day restaurant. I call it, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, brunch on Sunday. Menus fixed, seats are fixed. Get on the list, and we'll have some fun and food and eats and drinks, live music and entertainment. Small setting. Cigars for sure. Why not? After dinner, the guys can go smoke stoves and the girls can have an aperitif, or whatever. And I don't know. My life is probably not going to let that happen, but I would love to do that at some point because food is a passion, and it's a blast to create a menu. What a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Is to like actually help. Like I've been a part of creating menus, and I was never the one making any decisions, but I got to see it happen, and I got to taste the food and got to critique it, and it was just a lot of fun,
Yeah.
And it's an art, just like, rolling a cigar is an art, or putting together a kitchen is an art. Like and that's some of the most direct response to your hard work that you can get. It's like watching somebody taste your food.
Oh,
love it. There's nothing better.
Yeah, I've got a guy coming on next month at the end, or this month now that it's April Fool's Day. Hey, here we are.
Hey, is it really?
Yeah, so JP, Jean Piero at Ristorante Bergamo in downtown Greenville, northern Italian food, right? He's coming.
Cool.
Here on the podcast, him and his wife Kathy. It's going to be a wild episode because JP he's something. But I'm like, hey, why don't you guys just come to lunch at the house? So I'm going to cook for the chef.
Cool.
I'm a little intimidated. We'll see. I'm going to do like frozen corn dogs or something.
Dominoes.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
I do a pretty good pork loin.
Heck yeah.
So I may do that. I don't know. We'll see.
Like split and seasoned, and
I could do it either number of ways. I mean, I like to season and then just cook it over oak, grill it. But, maybe I'll feel if I get, fancy, maybe I'll just, I can slice it and roll it out, and then maybe I'll stuff it with, let's see, you could, there's any number of things you could do in there. You can do spinach and Parmesan and maybe, some sun-dried tomatoes or something, roll it up, tie it up,
flavors,
put some Italian seasoning on the outside, grill it up, and slice it.
Our family always liked to do the same thing. We'd butterfly it open, and we kind of like pinwheel it back together.
Yeah.
But a lot of fennel seed, and good parsley, garlic, obviously a ton of salt and pepper.
Yeah, that's great for pork.
That's
great for pork. And then you can do sweet things with pork, cherries, apples, pears.
Yeah. So
all that stuff goes really well. So walk me through that 3-day brisket process, man.
Oh, all right. Well, first you got to buy it.
That's step one.
Yeah. trimming it is like way more involved than people think, you know?
I used to trim them all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't waste anything. So we go straight from trimming to making tubs of tallow. You know, the brisket's the best for the tallow because you get so much of that fat off the top. Trim it up real nice. I like to dry brine for at least 24 hours with a good old heavy layer of salt. I don't really put a lot of seasoning on my brisket.
Don't need it, dude. Let the meat in the smoke
Just do its own thing. I'm really just a salt and pepper guy.
Yeah,
a little, and I don't really put pepper on the brisket anymore unless I'm going to do more of like a rub.
Maybe a little garlic, but
Garlic powder, you know, if you want to do that. But salt, yeah, and I just let it do its own thing. It's a thick piece of meat, so if you can go 36 hours on that dry brine, I find that's really like the sweet spot. And then I start smoking, like if we're gonna eat like an afternoon lunch, like 3, 4, 5 o'clock, something like that, and that brisket's going on 9 o'clock the night before. And you know, most of those, 12, 13, 14, 15 pound cuts, by the time you trim it, you're losing like 25% of the meat or like 25% of the brisket. But they take about 12 to 15 hours.
yeah, I was going to ask you if you're somewhere between 12 and 16 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah, every bit of it, and I'm only a temperature guy. I don't play the whole timing game, and I wrap it, at like 165, 170 degrees.
What do you wrap with?
I wrap it, so I do a combination. I create an aluminum foil boat on the bottom, and then I wrap the whole thing in paper. It just works on my smoker.
What are you using?
I just use a pellet smoker.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not a real.
No judgment.
No, I mean, you can judge all you want. I get to sleep while that thing's working.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the electric smokers. I mean, mine's just a offset. I love the artistry of the fire.
No doubt. I mean, I get it totally.
That's all my oak over there that's seasoning right now under that tarp, just drying. I took one.
Use the new one yet?
I've used not for smoking. I need to break it in. I need to buy a thermometer. Mm-hmm. It didn't have one, so I need to go on Amazon and order one. It's got a 1/2-inch insert. So, but the firebox is deep enough, and there's a grill grate in the firebox, so I can just build a fire in there and I can grill.
Cool.
So I've done that, but I need to smoke something.
Yeah.
Other than a cigar.
This time of year now.
Well, it is, and that's my other happy place. I mean, I love being on the pontoon, but to sit out here with a cigar and a glass of whiskey, yep, and surf online or have a magazine and just kind of do that while the meat's going,
and then manage the fire.
It's
the best, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's one of my happy places.
That's probably my next purchase. This new place, I'll probably get myself a nice offset and really kind of give it the all. But man, my Traeger is a home run. It's a home run.
Hey, you get to sleep, man.
I got the biggest one they made, at the time. So I've fit like 6 full briskets on that thing before. Like I'm talking like 50 pounds of brisket.
Yeah.
And it does a great job. It does a great job, and you get a pretty good smoke ring on the meat. You got to be strategic with the temperature. I really like to low. I go low. I mean,
like 210.
What's that?
Like 210?
Yeah, like 205.
Yeah.
I like 205. I set it at 205 because it'll spike like 5 or 10 degrees intermittently. But the ambient air, technology is so great. So now you got like the meter probes and all that. So those meter probes are great to just keep track of the ambient air, and if it's stalling and it's like taking its time to break through, I'll crank it up to like 250 for an hour or so and try to get it to break through. But once it breaks through, I'll bring it right back down, wrap that thing. And I don't care if it takes 20 hours, man. Like I tell my family every time they're waiting for us to eat, I'm like, do you want it to be great or do you just want to eat? Like, you can hang out, you can go home. I don't care less. Like, I'm waiting until that's perfect, and then it's going to rest for 3 hours. I'm not cutting into that thing till it's probably about 155, 160 degrees internal on the way back down, and then I'll cut into it.
Yeah.
But I wrap that thing up in towels. I stick it in a cooler. I mean, I do everything they tell you you're supposed to do. And just patience, really. But
yeah.
I got it pretty down. The way I buy the brisket is just as important as how I trim the brisket. So like the piece of meat that I'm buying, I'm not just going to go grab any old piece of meat off the shelf. I'm going to pick through them with pretty high standards.
What are you looking for?
Just the thickness of the flat. If it's too thin, it's just hard to get it all to cook right at the same time. You know, you need a good layer of fat on that side of the meat, and I don't really need any fat on the other side of the meat. So,
well, that's where the biggest piece of fat is. There's that wedge in the head up there, and you probably trim some of that out.
I cut most of it out.
Yeah, you cut most of that out, and then you have the head, and then you have the flat.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that flat's going to cook faster.
Way faster.
And so if it's too thin, then it's going to be...
Well, that's why I boat it. That's why I like the aluminum foil. I protect the bottom of that half of the meat at about 160. Even if I'm not wrapping the whole thing, I'll start protecting that and just try to keep it, you know, keep the moisture in there. And then, you know, I've experimented with a number of different things, but I like to just put the same, I like to cook meat within its own fat. So all of that fat that I took off the brisket to start would have been on the cooktop, you know, rendering down. And that stuff, I've literally left it on there for like 2 days at some points because it's been such a big pot, and I've made tubs and tubs of tallow. But I'll go right back on top of that meat with some cooked down tallow, a little bit more salt, and that's it, man. I just let that thing do its own thing, and it's a winner, you know. But it's simple. It's not competition brisket. It's not going to have a bunch of different like flavor profiles. I'm not cooking it over live, you know, like a live fire or like oak like that, or whatever you're into, you know. Some people like hickory.
Hickory's good.
Yeah, hickory. I like the fruit woods. You know? I like the fruit. The fruit woods are always. But anyway, yeah, that's so. And day 3 is you're gonna get to eat it. So it's a pretty long process. People take it for granted. They don't have any clue. You know, the ones that do, like you, they appreciate the process. But I have murdered briskets.
Sure.
Killed them. Ugh. Turn everything into burn ends. You know. Just load it with barbecue sauce. That's the other thing. I really don't like eating my brisket with barbecue sauce.
Right.
You know, if it's a sandwich, fine. But if I'm eating it like on a plate, and this is where my Dominican side of my like palate comes in, is my favorite way to eat my Texas style brisket is with Dominican rice and beans next to it. It's the best, dude.
Okay.
It's the best.
That's not what I would choose, but I'm not Dominican.
You're not. But you would love it.
Oh, I'm sure I would.
The beans are tangy. There's a little bit of vinegar in the beans.
Yeah.
So it's like a tangy bean and rice right next to it. And yeah.
I want a big old fat scoop of potato salad.
Yeah, a good one. Not this Carolina potato salad.
No, don't look. All right, listen.
Let's talk potato salad.
If you're going to go through the labor of making a brisket, don't freaking show up. And let me rephrase that. If you're coming to my house, I'm not going to say this. If I'm coming to your house and I'm bringing a side, if I'm going to do potato salad, I'm not showing up with some crap in a plastic tub I bought from freaking Ingles or Publix. Yeah, okay, please, no, man. Do not do that.
Thank you.
Make some freaking legit homemade potato salad. And listen, potato salad is such a universal dish. It's almost impossible to screw up.
Sure.
I mean, you can, but don't put olives in it. All right, that's how you're going to screw it up.
Some dill.
Put some dill.
Obviously,
boil some eggs.
Yep, some eggs.
Yeah, you need some mayo. Use spicy brown mustard.
Yep.
If you want to put onions in there, you can. I don't. My mom's gotten to where she does, but she'll caramelize onions.
That's right.
Caramelized onions in the potato salad, but
cook them up.
And I like to chop up dill pickles, and I don't put pickle relish because I don't want all that liquid from there. No, get some good dill pickles, chop them.
And get that intermittent tang in the bite. It's nice.
Yeah. And, I like my potato salad a little chunky instead of, like, very creamy.
No.
I want it chunky.
I like a chunk of potato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, maybe some seasoned salt in there. So
you're making the potato salad on 4th of July?
Yeah. I'll make a tub of potato salad, man. And it's on. And, I'll bring some smokes.
I'll get the brisket.
Yeah.
You know what else I love smoking a lot and people, like, take it for granted is, like, just chicken.
Dude. I love smoked chicken.
Man.
That is one of the best things.
Best things on the planet.
It's so delicious.
And you can do it so many different ways.
And the thing with a smoked chicken is that the breast doesn't come out dry.
Never. Especially if you do, what I've adapted now is I've been spatchcocking all of them.
My wife hates it. That's spatchcock a bird. Yeah, she's like, it looks like it got run over by a truck and it's all flat and ugly. But it
cook even.
Well, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're about the cooking process, the spatchcocking is about even cooking.
That's it.
You know, I mean, look, I'll get it. A spatchcock turkey is not attractive to look at on Thanksgiving.
You're a little awkward looking.
Yeah, but usually I don't spatchcock. I will just go ahead and take the spine out and I'll cook it in halves.
Sure.
That's what
do half a chicken, half a turkey. I love spatchcock and marinating them. I got this crazy marinade I've concocted over the last couple of years. It'll sit in a plastic bag for like a day and a half, 2 days, and then we'll pull it out. And the skin doesn't ever get super crispy because the marinade's real wet, but man, nothing like the pellet smoker though for a roasted chicken.
You're not
chickens on there
like
too.
You're not if you are smoking, and let's be clear here.
Yeah.
If you are smoking a chicken, the skin is not going to get crispy. It's not hot enough.
Yes.
Once you're over like 250, 260 degrees, you're no longer smoking.
There's no smoke.
You're technically grilling.
Yeah.
Even though that would be a low temperature for grilling.
Right.
Smoking or barbecuing is technically like 260, 250 and under.
Yeah. And as low as like 140 degrees.
Yeah, depending on what you're doing. Like cold smoking.
Cold smoke.
Yeah, have you ever like cold smoked cheese?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
I haven't either, but I want to.
I've seen it. My cousin, I have a cousin, Dominican cousin, who's like obsessed with barbecue, and he smokes all sorts of cool stuff. And he always like cold smokes his dips. He'll do, like his cheese dips, and like he'll just take blocks of cream cheese and add all sorts of seasonings to them.
Yeah.
And then cold smoke them for like an hour, and then you bring them out, and it's like I could eat a bag of Tostitos.
Oh yeah.
Right next to that. Bad. It's so bad, but it's so good.
So good.
And with a cold like
I mean on 4th of July I'm cutting loose, man. I'm not worried about what I eat or what I drink. I'm just gonna
going on. It's 4th of July.
Yeah, I'm gonna tear it up.
Might not be as many fireworks this year, but
I
said it might not be as many fireworks. You guys didn't stick around for the fireworks last year.
We didn't for whatever reason.
We have a lot of fun.
Maybe this year we'll hang out late. But anyway, so let's get back to brisket really quick. You said your favorite way to eat it is sliced and then with some beans and rice. Totally down for that. However, do you prefer, and this is a hard question in my personal book, sliced brisket or brisket sandwich?
Why not sliced brisket on your sandwich?
You could.
Okay.
Yeah, you could. But, when I think of brisket sandwich, I think it's chopped.
Of course.
Chopped brisket sandwich.
I had a chopped brisket sandwich the other day from Smoking Pig here in town. They make a pretty good brisket if you hit it at the right time of day. It's like spot on. But yeah, I love a brisket sandwich.
Yeah, but we're talking if you had to do one or the other.
No, sliced brisket and
sliced
sides.
Brisket.
Sliced briskets and sides.
Okay.
Yeah. I like to eat my meat like, I like to look at the meat, I guess, is the thing. I like to, take that how you want.
I like to look at the meat.
Smoke ring, man. No, I like to be proud of the meat, but I'll crush a sandwich. But no, I would definitely, if you gave me an option, it's always going to be a plate.
Yeah. I'm happy with either one. I have a hard time making that decision. If I'm going to have a brisket sandwich, I want it chopped. I want extra pickles on it. I want some barbecue sauce and a healthy smear of mayo on there.
A good mayo?
Oh, yeah.
What about slaw? You like slaw on your sandwich?
On a pork sandwich.
On a pork
Not
sandwich.
a brisket sandwich.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I could do slaw on a pork sandwich.
Yeah.
I like a good
Mild
slaw.
Yeah, not mild. I don't want anything too overpowering. I like to taste the meat.
You want to taste the meat?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So so plate all day for me, man.
Yeah.
And minimal sauces. Minimal sauces. And
So
if the meat is done right, it doesn't need anything.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Like sauces, they have their place, but there's so many opinions out there. It's like condiments are created to cover up crappy food.
They can also enhance something, right? Like I don't think a French fry is nearly as good without ketchup and mayo next to it.
It's a fried potato.
Yeah, man, but I'm just saying, like, a French fry is a French fry, but when you dip it in mayo and ketchup, like, it's the best. Do you like mayo with your French fries?
No, my wife does.
Oh God, my kids are obsessed now.
I heard that's that's like the German or European thing.
I don't know what it was.
Ketchup on. Mayonnaise on French fries.
I'll tell you where I was 19 in Las Vegas. Went out there for a business trip with an uncle of mine, and we went to I can't remember the name of the steakhouse. Bally's Steakhouse, and it was like the first time I ever went to like a white tablecloth restaurant.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you want to eat?" And I'm like a ribeye for sure, because at least I knew that. And I was like, a ribeye, and he's like, "What do you want on the sides?" I was like, "French fries and onion rings." And he just looked at me and just started laughing. And when I ordered that with the white tablecloth waiter who came over, he looked at me and he goes, "That's how you order a steak." And I just started dying. I looked at my uncle, I was like, "See?" I was like, "What's better than steak and frites, man?" But I never dunked a French fry in mayonnaise up to that point. And my uncle, who he's like, you don't get mayonnaise with your French fries? And I was like, no. And he's like, mayonnaise, please. Mayonnaise came. I dunked the French fry in the mayonnaise for the first time. I was like, that's my stuff right there. So now it's a dunk in the mayo, a dunk in the ketchup.
Oh, it's a double dunk.
It's a double dunk, man.
Nice.
Yeah. By the time the ketchup's done, it looks.
Are you one of those people that like dip your fries in your Frosty at Wendy's?
No.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna have
That's
to.
weird.
This podcast probably never went public.
No.
No, my wife likes to do that. But I put up with her BS because I love her.
You do love her. It's about being you.
Yeah,
you gotta be.
I don't ask her not to be her, but if that's what you like to do, fine.
Just don't ever dunk it in my Frosty.
No, we're gonna have a problem. So yeah. So we and speaking of my wife, we met because of her. She's delivered two of your babies, which is pretty awesome. All of my children were born in the hospital. But if I had known the things that I know now, I would have had them at home. So what's it like to have your kids born in your own house, man?
Well, from a man's perspective,
yeah,
it's very peaceful. We did, the first one was in the hospital, so I've got good perspective on both sides of it, and it didn't go badly in the hospital. I think that my wife decided that she wanted to go down that road after doing a bunch of research and stuff like that with the second and third child. But from my perspective, it was really just so comfortable. I don't know. I guess that's the best word I could put. It was a comfortable, you're in your comfortable environment. You're in your home. You're in your bathroom. You're, going into your refrigerator to get a drink.
It's not people traipsing in and out and in and out.
That you'll never see again. It's a much more personal experience, on top of Jen and being like the amazing midwife that she is. We had a great doula both times who was just so helpful to my wife. So as the guy, it just took a lot of pressure off. The first kid, I was doing like 100 miles an hour down I-85, rushing to the hospital because she made it sound like she was going to give birth in the front seat of our car.
Yeah.
And I was like losing my mind.
Now it's my wife's turn. She's doing 100 now.
Now she does the 100.
Yeah.
And I get to hang out on the couch.
Yeah.
So it's it's cool. It's an experience. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. And it's not for all women, and it's not right or wrong. But my wife absolutely would never do it any other way.
Yeah.
Ever again. Yeah.
I just always feel like there's something very emotionally special about this is your home and you're looking around. It's like, man, my kids were born here.
It's innate. I think it's just in you to like feel that way about that.
Yeah. That's the way it has been for the vast majority of world history, but
for sure.
But it's just like, your home. I don't know. Just life came here.
And I think that, that's a blessing on that home. And for anybody else who ever lives in it is like, people always were, you're in real estate. Like, anybody ever die in this house? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's a question. House we're looking at, somebody had passed away recently. So the first question I asked, did they pass away in this house or I was in the hospital? I was like, okay, cool. Because, I don't know. You don't have to be super spiritual to just think like of whatever, but new life, that's a cool thing. New life being brought into some place. It's got to put a little bit of an imprint on it. But, now we're moving out of that house, so we'll just do drive-bys.
You just gotta have more babies in the new house.
I think we're done.
You done?
I think we're done. Three's a good number. 3. I'm one of 3. She's one of 3.
Okay.
Now we got 3. We got 2 girls and a boy. So we got the mix. I think we're good. Yeah.
So in your keep it on the topic of newborn babies, in your estimation, is there any better way to celebrate the birth of a child than with a cigar?
Nope. I did it on all 3.
Nice.
Yeah. My buddy Joe, like best man at my wedding, currently lives like 4 doors down. He's always held me down. Yeah. That's my cigar buddy right there. So if like you have a cigar friend, my uncle's cool. We smoke here and there, but my buddy Joe, he's a big cigar guy and he's always showing up with a cigar at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is that guy.
That's awesome. It's just super traditional. And as at the dad's night, we have that big tradition in this country of doing that, celebrating your newborn with a cigar and, all the old imagery and even in the cartoons, dad's in the waiting room pacing back and forth. He's got a cigar. He's just waiting for the doctor to come out. But, I'm doing my best to keep that alive, and I often send cigars with my wife when she's headed out for a birth. Take this to the dad. And actually, I've even had. She's like, "Hey, the mom wants a cigar," so I'll say, "Yeah, it happens from time to time." And obviously, she and I are married, so with her business in mind, it was just natural for us to have an annual night to celebrate dads and do cigars.
Yes, I'm glad it's one day a year because we don't deserve nearly the credit that those girls do.
Sure,
we should have a party for them every week.
Yeah,
yeah, it was fun. I was cool just being around other newer dads. Kind of going through the same thing. No, I don't even want to complain because we really got it easy. But there's things that we got to vibe on, which was cool.
Yeah,
it's being in the same shoes.
Well, she told me the other day that there were some guys that asked her. They're like, "What is this? What is this dad's night?" We're like, it's weird to go sit around with other guys and smoke cigars and talk about birth.
But we didn't.
And she's like, "No, that's not what this is. You're not going to talk about birth. It's just a night for guys, and there's cigars and whiskey and
let's be real. An excuse for us to smoke a cigar. A good excuse.
Yeah, I don't need any excuses to smoke a cigar, but
it's good to have them.
Yeah. So at that night, a few weeks ago, you and I just kind of went into the wormhole on, like Elon Musk.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And getting to Mars and cloning humans and faith in religion.
Like 2 whiskeys, guys, I promise.
Yeah.
There wasn't much whiskey involved.
Yeah, and faith in religion. And I don't know where you are on faith other than you said that you were raised Catholic.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that in specific?
Faith?
Religion, faith, Christianity, Catholicism, or any of those topics above that we just mentioned. Let's for a little while. Let's get back into that wormhole.
Faith. You don't have to be religious to have faith, but in this country, in this day and age, I think that those kind of go hand in hand. I grew up Catholic. I never had any of those bad experiences people talk about with Catholicism and being, I hate to say, like altar boy situations and stuff like that. I never experienced that. All of my experiences were great. I loved going to, Sunday school and Wednesday night, Stations of the Cross and doing all of the things that you do in Catholic church. I loved going to Mass. I loved my friends. We would play outside after church, and it was just a great place to be communal and to also worship. And, my grandparents were very, very, Catholic. They lived by all the rules, at least on the surface from what I can tell. And my mom and my dad were both Catholic, and, I went through, I was baptized, communed, and confirmed, and I did it all that you were supposed to do. But I don't go to church very much anymore. And not because I don't enjoy church, just life gets ahead of you and routines get ahead of you and things like that. But for my children, I would love for them to have that base, because I don't think anything bad can come out of it. So, Christianity is tough. Where we grow up, where we are here in the Bible Belt, for sure. Everybody has their very staunch opinion of, how you're supposed to operate. And I agree with a lot of it. And I think Christianity is it. And Jesus is a real thing. And I believe in all of it, in my heart. I pray daily with my kids, by myself. So that's how I worship. That's how my faith is. I can use a lot of examples in my own life that proved to me that that being faithful to God was the right thing to do. There's been things delivered to me in so many different ways that, you can't, I don't even think you're supposed to talk about them sometimes, because I think they're that special, but easy things for the person that's in the middle of it to realize and to acknowledge. And then there's really no questions, so I don't really have many questions when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. How are you, you said that you don't have to be religious to have faith. And I'm just curious what you're separating out there between the two. Like, is religion? Do you mean like religion in the vein of just regular church attendance or what are we talking about?
Religion to me is, and this is probably sounds really stupid to people that are smarter and more educated than I am, but religion to me is a structure. It's a structure to faith. Like, so there's a lot of different religions.
Yeah.
Just within Christianity alone, you can take 20 different roads.
There's a lot of factions.
There's a lot of different ways you can walk down the path to get to the same idea, the core result, at least. And I think that if with enough time, you spent that time learning each one of those different factions just within Christianity, I think the overwhelming result of that would be that you believe in Jesus, you believe in a higher being, and you believe that things actually happened, and there's things that happened well before our time to help you in your journey as just a human on this side to get to the next place, And so I don't know if you necessarily need religion to have that faith. That's, I guess, what I mean. Is like, I believe that no matter what, and I don't have to be a practicing any one of those factions to believe that, and to believe that, there is a right way to live your life. And don't get me wrong, Bible study I think is huge. I think everybody, regardless of religion, should read the Bible. I think you should read the Quran. I think you should read them all. I think there's a lot to learn from all of that. Those are really old books, that were written for the better of the people. And I haven't read any of them as deeply as I should probably, but yeah, that's what faith means to me. I think, my faith and religion are two different things. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think religion in itself is, kind of like a system of works, maybe the structure part of it, like you said, whether it's like the tenets of Islam or of Judaism or even of Christianity, and it's the functions, whereas faith is these teachings that I believe, the teaching of Christianity is that Jesus is God incarnate, and that he died as a substitutionary sacrifice for all of mankind to pay for the sin of the world, meaning the sins of each person that's ever walked on the face of planet Earth or that will. Now, you don't have to go to church to believe that.
Right.
Like you said. So I think that's kind of the dividing line of what you're saying between.
You would have had to have some level of information to come to that conclusion, or to know who that person is in the story and in its journey and what it means. You would have had to have been educated to it somehow. For us, it was through Catholic school and Catholic stuff. But I think that there's a feeling in people, regardless of your upbringing or like your religious upbringing, that could be undeniable, and that is a faith of something bigger and more important than you surrounding you. And you don't have to go to a religion to find that. Sometimes I think that you can find that in your own ways, and it's just being open to the world around you and accepting that you're nothing really, and that this whole journey that you're taking, you could go in a lot of different directions. You get to make choices, but you really don't have much say. And I think that's what I mean. You get to make choices, but my faith is in the fact that I truly believe I'll be good no matter what, because I do believe that there's something, bigger and much more structured than I am, kind of overseeing all of this. And, there's a rule book to it, though.
Yeah.
There's a rule book, and you got to follow the rules. Nobody's perfect, and you're not supposed to be, and that's the beautiful part of Jesus, right? And like that whole part of Christianity is like, yeah, good luck being perfect, but here's why you don't have to be perfect, and that's a beautiful thing. And I don't know, it's a hard one. That's a hard one.
It's a deep well. There's no doubt. I mean, he was perfect because we could not be. I mean, that's
that was the mission.
Yeah,
that was the mission.
That was the mission. I mean, and it's God incarnate. God is light, and in Him is no darkness, and that's what man is in our fallen state. That we are sinners by birth, by choice, by nature, and because there was nothing that we could do to repair that gulf between us and God the Father, our Creator, because of our sin, Jesus, he came to remedy that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Well, your question to me was, where's the line between religion and faith?
Yeah.
So how do you explain that from your side? How do you explain that from your perspective?
Well, I think I largely agree with you that, like I said, that I would kind of categorize religion as a system of works, whether that is, if you're Catholic, your system of works would be, you attend Mass, you take communion, you go to confession, you do whatever it is Catholics do. I don't know, besides those few things. And those things are, of course, part of your faith, but the faith itself is certain beliefs. Like these are theological beliefs that don't have, I mean, they are the reasons I do these things, but they are not these things, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, you would go, as a Catholic person, you would go to confession, and that is part of the system.
That's a system.
That's part of the system. That's the religion part.
Those are their rules.
But that's not the faith part. But your faith is what drives the work.
Those are the man-made rules of that system.
Right.
Because there was nothing really ever said.
No, there's not. I mean, I'm not Catholic, and I have my reasons for not being Catholic. And
yeah, whatever. But what's the original Christian? What's the original religion of Christianity?
Well, it was born out of Judaism.
Judaism, which in turn was, and then turned into Catholicism. I mean, that's the OG, isn't it? Coptic Christianity, like that part of the world.
Yeah.
Christian.
Well, you would have like the Orthodox Church and then Catholic Church and all that stuff, and it's probably kind of following. Yeah. I mean, I'm not super schooled on all that stuff.
Neither am I, but I'm just saying, like, it's evolved over millennia to a lot of what it is now. I think the roots of it all still stay about exactly the same thing. I mean, they're all following, but, and this is where I can, it's probably not the best setting. I don't know. When man gets involved in things, it's never really what it seems like, or what it was meant to be. It's like the game of telephone. And we grew up playing those funny games. And it's like the message sometimes gets skewed, and I think that's where faith to me is like a feeling. It's like an innate, deep thing that you really have a hard time explaining.
Yeah.
If you have like undeniable faith. And listen, Muslims have undeniable faith in their religion.
Mm-hmm.
They believe wholeheartedly that they.
Yeah, no, they believe the Quran and in Allah as much as I believe
in Jesus,
in the Bible, and that Jesus is the Christ.
Exactly. And we're gonna say, because we're Christian, or that we believe in Christianity, that for whatever, we're right and they're wrong.
Right.
Which is a human thought process. It's tribalistic. It's like, it's a hard place to be, because they're just as devout in their thought process as you could be in yours. And who's to tell you or them, outside of being religious, who's right or wrong? It's like that. If you live a good life, if you're living a good life, and you're doing, it's a tough one, man. It's tough.
Yeah, well, people have been
talking about
having this dialogue for thousands of years.
Yeah,
and it's not going to be figured out until
never
the end.
Well, the end of you, the end of me.
Well, I just mean the end of it all. If depending on, what you subscribe to. I mean, if you're a person who believes the New Testament, then there is definitely an end, and even probably the Quran has an end.
Yep.
And if those things are true, and of course they both can't be true, then time will tell.
Is it the end of humans, or is it the end of planet Earth? Like that's where I guess I'm not educated enough. But
Yeah.
we're gonna segue into like Elon and stuff like that.
No, we don't have to.
No,
It just depends
it's
on
a fun one.
how long we've got here. I mean, we're at 2.5 hours, which is fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah, I could kill another 30.
Okay. Well, in Christianity, so what we believe is that, Jesus Christ, God in the flesh, and we already talked about this, he came, he died for the sins of the world, he was buried, 3 days later, he rose again, he ascended to heaven.
We're in the middle of it.
Yeah, so we are in between. We are currently still in the church age, and we are waiting for him to come back and set up what is biblically the 1,000-year kingdom, the millennial reign, right? And so he will come back to earth, and he will reign from Jerusalem for 1,000 years. And then after the 1,000 years is up, there will be a short time. The Bible doesn't tell us how long it is, because during those 1,000 years, and you read the book of Revelation, during those 1,000 years, Satan is he is chained up and he is thrown into hell for 1,000 years. So he has zero influence over mankind, and Christ Jesus reigns for 1,000 years. But the Bible says after the 1,000 years are up, that Satan is loosed, what the Bible says, for a little season. He's let back out for whatever reason. Don't ask me, ask God. I have no idea. This is just what's written.
Sure.
Right? And he will go back out, and he will deceive the nations once more. And he will gather all nations to fight against Jerusalem and against Jesus. And then at the culmination of that, the Lord basically just destroys everything, destroys all of the armies of wickedness. And then we would go into what the Bible calls the Great White Throne Judgment, where everybody's judged that's ever lived. Finally, like everybody that's in hell today, they are brought before God. All the people that were on the earth at that time, all the people that were in heaven at that time, everybody's brought before God, and there's a great judgment. All of the people that are righteous, all of the Old Testament peoples that were righteous, all of the people that in the time as New Testament that we would call, that are Christians, that are believers that, Jesus is the Christ. We're all spared for this judgment because we've had faith in Jesus, right? That he is Messiah. But everybody else goes through the judgment. The book of life is open, and whosoever's not found written in the Lamb's book of life is cast in the lake of fire. And then after that point, that's the final judgment. Then we enter the phase that is known as the new heaven and the new earth. The earth is still here. He just refurbishes it, for lack of a better word. And then there's a new heaven, and then it's just eternity. And we don't know what that's going to be like. He gives us very, very little description about it. So that's, quote unquote, the end.
That's a hard
in a
one
nutshell.
Yeah. It's a hard one to swallow. It's also a tough one to really, can you draw that picture? You know what I mean? You can talk about it. It's hard. It's tough, and it's not.
It's bigger than a kitchen reno.
For sure. Definitely. The whole planet. Well, yeah, I think it's tough. Do you believe in like science and
well, it depends on what we want to call science. I mean, there's a lot of science today that's actually religion.
Well, I love the scientists that take it back to religion or take it back to unexplainable things.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of science.
It's funny. Even the Apostle Paul in his letter to Timothy wrote about oppositions of science, falsely so called. It's not real science. It's a religion.
It's a religion.
We have a lot of scientists who are really just priests in lab coats, for the scientific religion.
For their people.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just trying to justify a thought process.
Yeah. And and you and I talked about this. It's like science, and I said this a while back on a different podcast, but people talking about trust the science. Science is not science is a process. It's not a conclusion.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but look at all the crap we were sold about COVID. It wasn't true.
Right.
And so, we could go on and on and on about all the things that was science and that was quote unquote true in the 1980s that is now not true, or whenever it was. So what's the scientific study? Who's paying for the study?
Such a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's a scary place to go too. It is. It's scarier because who's in control of all that? Just your above average.
It's up to you as an individual. And I understand, to do your own research and be informed, but on the other hand, man, you're busy running a business, being a husband, taking care of your kids. You don't have time to research freaking science and all that stuff, and I don't either. So we rely on these people, and, against maybe sometimes in our gullibleness or better judgment, we give them the benefit of the doubt. But we are seeing so much corruption that's all being stripped away.
Oh, it's going fast. Too.
Global warming?
Yeah.
The earth destroying from the 80s. This is what they've been doing every year. The ice caps are melting. The oceans are going to rise. You know how many times they've told us this crap?
Yeah, it sells a lot of stuff. It sells a lot of stuff. Go. There's a lot of money there. And that's a religion within itself, too.
Yeah.
The dollar it's a big religion. It's a scary world when you get when you go down any rabbit hole. It can get so confusing. I think that's where my the original question, faith versus religion. That's where my faith just comes in. Is I just believe in good. I believe that if you're doing good and the difference between right and wrong. Now listen, the rules, right, which are laid out for you. We're sinners, right? That's a thing that we're all going to agree on. You're supposed to try to not be a sinner. You're supposed to try really hard to do all of the things that you're told to do. For some people, that's really hard, and for some others, it's much easier to kind of fall in line and to follow the rules. But I think that there's 8 billion people now on this planet. There's a lot of different brains running around, and it's hard. I don't think you're never going to get the majority to think one way. It's always going to be a minority of people thinking certain types of ways. And that's the part that, always confused me is there's just so many. You grew up in this part of the world or you grew up in that part of the world. There's just two completely different ways of thinking. If you grew up here, you were born there, you're either blessed or cursed. You can think of it however you want. But that's just what you're going to be because that's where you are. If you're born on the coast, you're going to fish. If you're born in the mountains, you're going to hunt, and the same thing goes for all of that. It depends on where you're born, who you're born to, yeah, of course you become an adult and you get to free think and all of that. But sometimes that's too late. You've been indoctrinated into a thought process. You just are becoming that. You're going to become that no matter what. So I don't know. Do I believe in Jesus? I believe in Jesus. I've never read the Quran. I don't know anything about, real Muslim culture and stuff like that. I guess those are the two big ones, aren't they?
Well, the three major religions of the world are Islam, Christianity, and Judaism.
Right? Yeah.
So
Judaism and Christianity have a lot of similarities.
Yeah,
a lot of similarities. And then one big difference, right?
A major difference.
Yeah, which keeps them separate and a lot of other thought processes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question that I would love to ask if you were ever gifted the moment, right, to ask the maker of all things is why allow there to be a difference? Why a difference of opinions? If there's going to be a right and a wrong, if there's the devil and then there's God, why doesn't everyone just think of God as the same thing? Why is there different opinions of that instead of streamlining the whole thought process for everybody? So that's when it gets questionable, is like, where you're from and how you were raised and who you were raised around and what culture you're in. It has a lot to do with what religion you can buy into or not.
Yeah, you're born into it.
You're born into it. So, so the real question is why? Why have three? And then if you want to, in a philosophical sense, which I know is not a religious thing to say, because like you're not supposed to be like philosophical about religion, really. You can listen to the stories and to the philosophy of those stories, but you're not supposed to really go outside of that. You're not supposed to like free think that. But I can't help it. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, well, if there's a real test of faith there, then it all boils down to like one root thing, which is like God. And I know Jesus is God incarnate, but what's Allah?
Allah is, as far as I understand, and look, I'm not schooled on Islam.
All right,
okay.
Our
So Allah would be God.
Yeah.
But he and Muhammad, his prophet.
Muhammad. Yeah.
But Islam does not have God incarnate like Christianity does.
Right.
Nor does Judaism, obviously.
No, God is just God
Mm-hmm.
to them. They're still waiting.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just, again, it's a hard one. That's why religion to me has always been a big question mark, is like, I believe in Jesus because I was raised believing in Jesus. I believe that Jesus was all of the things that we are told, and that at the end of the day, maybe you're better off for believing that. And that's a weird place to be too, is that like, are you just buying into a faction that you think is going to help you at the end? I think a lot of people probably question their faith for their entire lives, but they think it's the right thing to do, so they do it. So like, and you can't, there's no meter on somebody's shirt, like whether their faith is 100% viable or not, or if it's legit, but I think there's a lot of people that just live those lives because they think that's the right thing to do, and they'd rather hedge their bet at the end than really know. And that was never me. I believe in it because I really just believe it. In my core, in my soul, I know that's how I think. But you look at the world around you, and there's so many things that you would question when it even comes to a God in general, right? I mean, we're logical thinking human beings, so we can say that is true. You look at the world around you, and you would say, well, why, if there was, is this?
Such as?
Oh man, just the horrors of the world, right?
Yeah.
And I know that there's a place in the Bible every time you ask that question where you can tell a story that would explain or help somebody get to a thought that maybe rationalizes it for them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's like, really, it's always why. Why is that the way it is if there is an all-loving overseer of all of these things?
Yeah.
And then the devil, right? And then you get to bring the devil into it, and there's your caveat.
That's the why.
And that's the why, right? But it's all fun to think about.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's a matter of faith.
It is, and that's the bottom line.
It's a matter of faith. So speaking of faith, what obviously Elon, he is dead set, 100%. We're going to Mars, baby.
That's what he says.
We're
apparently already there.
And
not humans, but
yeah, rovers and all that.
Who knows
stuff.
if it's really there?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a friend of mine. I invited him to Dad's night because, but he couldn't make it. I want to have him on and have it. This is like Conspiracy Theorist Day.
Oh, can I come?
Sure. He's like, it's like we didn't, the moon landing's fake.
Yeah, for sure it was.
You're in that group.
Oh, well, I don't doubt that we didn't eventually get there, but there was a lot of reasons why it was worth the fake.
Okay, well, hang on. We'll
get to that podcast.
We'll see. But the one he told me the other day that just kind of blew my mind was the lottery is. Well, was it FBI or CIA? I don't remember. The lottery is a system that's designed to catch time travelers. I'm like, what?
How do those puzzle pieces get put together?
Yeah, he's going to explain it. I haven't told him we're doing this podcast. I got to reach out to him.
I thought it was just a good way for the government to collect a ton of money.
Well, yeah, there's probably that.
It's taxation.
Bigfoot is real.
Well, no, it's all taxation. The lottery is taxation. Lottery is taxation for sure. It's a whole nother source of money that just gets delivered to the government for no reason. Way more than gets distributed back. That's just taxation. That's like inflation, but on a smaller, crazier scale.
Yeah.
Just sucking away money from people that don't have self-control. It's kind of crazy. It's like casinos. That's why casinos aren't legal everywhere. But I mean, it's pretty dark, that whole stuff. Anyway.
Huh.
So time travelers, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't discount that could be a possibility. Time travel, I mean, like, in the sense that, how do you know if you don't know? Does the Bible say that time travel is impossible?
Well, the Bible doesn't really speak about this subject.
So that it could be possible.
I suppose so. But again, I'm so ignorant on so many things. We were having to talk about Bigfoot, and they're like,
oh, jeez. What's it, Joe Rogan? What's he always, Authopithecus?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just like, there's all the claim sightings, and of course, every picture ever taken is like so grainy.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? If this is legit, like, how come we don't have a real picture with all the cameras and phones and everything else running around that we have these days? Yeah. It's like every picture of Bigfoot, every picture of the Loch Ness Monster is taken, but they're like, well, somehow we got talking about the flood, right? Genesis, whatever chapter it is, 13, 14, 12, somewhere in there. And they're like, every culture around the world
believes in that.
Well, but they have
a flood story.
Yes. They have their flood stories. And I made that point talking about the flood, and they're like, well, you know what? Every culture around the world has their Bigfoot. It's the abominable snowman. Yeah. It's the Bigfoot. And I'm like, so it's the reasoning is the same. So
maybe it was real. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's a legit thought. But do I believe in Bigfoot? I don't. I mean, I guess I'm agnostic about it. It's not something I care about.
Well, I was gonna say, so conspiracies to me don't really grab my attention in those areas. Like, I could care less about Bigfoot, but the idea that we did or didn't go to the moon is always intriguing to me, because that just shows how corrupt society and humans can really be. So I always kind of lend more towards like the conspiracies of like monetary gain, the conspiracies of control, the conspiracies of, new control. So like for me, assassinations,
Why have we still not, what's going on with the JFK files, man?
I don't know. Didn't the lady walk out of the White House holding the folders?
I mean, all that stuff was supposed to be released. JFK files, the Epstein files.
He's elected. He doesn't care anymore. Listen, as much as I was excited for a regime change, it's all the same crap to me. Just let's make sure that the country is protected and gainfully employed, so that people can live good, clean lives, and scarcity doesn't become a problem. Because now we're going to talk about psychological and environmental things that affect society. And for me, if people are able to get paid, because that's the world we live in an economic society, a monetary economic society. We don't live in a society where resources...
Well, it's always been that way.
No, there was points in history where resources were more dominant than the coin.
But your resources are the coin. You just trade in a different vein.
Exactly. But you can't have a farm in your backyard and make your way through life anymore. You can have a farm, but you're going to be beholden to the government.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just meant going to work.
Yeah.
Making sure that money's flowing everywhere. Keep pumping it out. I don't care. Just make sure that the people that need it the most, which are the poorest people, have a way of getting it. Because when people don't get it, that's when things start going crazy and wonky. Social media in general, too much information. That's a conspiracy to me. Why isn't it? And I don't like to use the word control, but it should be either a freewheeling society where, all voices can be heard at the same level, or it shouldn't exist at all, because it just compounds confusion. And that's what, and that's what power wants. Power wants to divide you. Power wants you to not be on the same team. They want 100 different teams, because then you can't organize and make changes. Right. I mean, that's not rocket science. That's nothing profound. Like, that's common knowledge.
Yeah, as long as the people aren't unified, then
things are
the powers that be can control. They don't have to fight you if you're all busy fighting yourself.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing that, those are the kind of conspiracy avenues that I'll get sucked into really fast. Is like, if you wanted to tell me about COVID, like, yeah, okay, great. So how many gillions of zillions and trillions of dollars did frickin' Pfizer make in like a 2-year period? It's insane.
Well, and they didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to sell it.
They did a lot. They created
but I'm just saying, like, the government said you have to do this.
Yeah.
It's not like it was a new drug on the market and they've got to market it and they've got to make their commercials and they've got to sell it to doctors through their pharmaceutical reps.
Yeah,
and it's just, nope, government says you all got to take this. We're going to buy it from Pfizer, even though there's really no trial period. There's no test.
Yeah, because there was a couple of guys on a golf course smoking a cigar. And that's the conspiracy. Not to put a bad connotation on cigars, but
the cigars don't have anything to do with it.
They were out there enjoying whatever.
Oh, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Doing business. I'm just saying.
Oh, I see.
The conspiracy is that's just business. That's just a big business taking advantage of 350 million people, all right, that don't have a say other than, yes, I'll take the jab. No, I won't take the jab. And then now here's the conspiracy. Companies telling you have to do it or you lose your job. Military telling you have to do it or you don't get to stay on active duty. Example, the other night, we were talking our Rich.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Here's the conspiracy, guys. Let's talk about real stuff now. Why were those the rules? Why were those plans set in place before anything happened? What do you think? They came up with that shit on the fly?
Yeah.
No. There was There's a lot of information that came out at the onset of COVID that you might still be able to find on the internet, that I watched some crazy stuff. Interesting things. A lot of this was like game planned and laid out, and people want to pretend like it's not real because people get set in a thought process. They want to be part of a team and they want people to either like them or not, or whatever the scenario is. But the conspiracy is there. It's all psychological manipulation. They manipulate the population in a lot of different ways. And it's always for monetary gain, and it's never for your best interest. Guaranteed. So being someone of faith helps, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm not going to listen to that idiot over there because he didn't write the book, and he's not the one that I am beholden to. So that helps. But there's a lot of non-faithful people in this country, especially.
Yeah.
And that's where those conspiracies blow my mind, because it's all about money. It's everything boils down to money. Flat Earth theory. Okay, fine. Thanks anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Like, okay, if you believe it's a flat Earth, still fine. It's okay. But I bet you if we were able to fly, for a week straight up into the friggin' universe and look back, you'd be like, oh, okay, it's round. It's a circle. You would probably.
Well, but they're okay.
If you couldn't see,
they're not saying that it's.
I know what
not,
they're saying. I know the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're not saying it's not a circle. They're saying
it's flat.
It's flat like a coin. It's still a circle.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree with that.
I don't care if you do. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to even talk about it because that doesn't make any.
Well, I've never really understood the whole like NASA's lying. It's all a conspiracy, and I'm like, okay, to like what end? Like, what is it like? And they're like, well, but just like, what benefit do they get by telling everybody it's round? And they're like, well, it's just, they just want to control what you think.
Oh.
And I'm like, well,
what about aliens?
Okay.
Believe in aliens? I don't know. But getting to Mars, I think is.
Yeah, we're way off.
Yeah, but you said to me the other night, you said to me, you asked, the question was, do you think we'll actually get to Mars?
Yeah.
And I said, yes. I think that if he wants that bad enough and he lives long enough, and he keeps improving his technologies, then yeah, I don't think that we can't. I don't think there's a way we don't get there.
Yeah,
unless the coming happens and
well, sure.
It's all over.
I mean, I think actually making it livable and sustainment is a bigger problem than getting there.
Well, we won't be alive for any of that. We won't live long enough to see that. But I think we live long enough to see people get there. You know, if that's what they really want to do, and there's people crazy enough to sit on a spaceship going 20,000 miles an hour or whatever the crazy speed is through the blackness of the universe for 6 months.
Well, that's a one-way trip, man.
Well, no, they're saying you're supposed to be able to get back. But anyway, I don't care about any of it. But I got a friend of mine that I went to high school.
They probably need cabinets on Mars, man.
Synthetic material.
They're going to need it.
Yeah. We'll 3D print them in place. I don't know.
It's going to be Red Ridge cabinets instead.
Oh, good one. I like that. That's good. I'm going to name it that. I'm going to SpaceX and Blue Ridge cabinet. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. That whole journey of conversation is really tough for me to grasp the real reason why you're doing it. Why are we doing it? That's the question to me. It's like, so you want to go to Mars? Why? You think we're going to inhabit Mars and save human civilization? That's what you think we're doing?
Well, see, that's the whole thing. Like, is it like is it the status quo, run-of-the-mill apocalyptic scenario? Humans are destroying the Earth. Everything's screwed up. What do you think we're going to do on Mars, man? We're going to do the same crap because times change, but people don't.
It's a weird.
It's going to be the same problem, which is ultimately Star Wars and all the factions and the Senate and the Imperial Army and the rebels and it's just going to be the world on a galactic scale.
That's it. It's such a waste of time conversation in my mind, really. What I'd really rather talk about is like, how can we sell more cigars?
Yeah, how can we sell more cigars and cabinets?
Because you know what? That's what keeps our families fed. And we're doing a service. Like, I really feel like what we do at Blue Ridge isn't just selling cabinets, man. It's a service to help people. People are coming to us. We're never knocking on your door looking to sell you cabinets.
Yeah.
People find us because they're looking to do kitchen work.
Yeah.
You know, and you're helping people in your society, in your local community, get what they need to get.
Yep.
Because they need to have it, and and I think that's a service. Yes, we get to earn a money and a living off of that, but everybody has to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just our little sector of economy. But I thinking about all that big stuff. It's fun when you're just joshing.
Yeah.
But like eventually, it just makes my head hurt. I don't know about you.
No. All right, last question, then we'll wrap it up.
Let's do it.
As a cabinet maker, have you ever built a humidor?
Oh, no. But, we were just talking about that. No, but I could. I mean, it's not hard.
We should talk about it.
Yeah. Good insulation and some good cedar, and you buy the mechanical stuff, right?
It's just a couple of hinges.
Are you talking about like a box, or are you talking about like a room?
No. Well, I mean,
a room would be fun.
A freaking room would be banger. But I'm just talking like a
box. Wait, you want me to build a box?
Well, I'm just asking.
How do you want it dovetailed? Like, let me know. French or English?
I don't even know the difference,
we
man.
We can dado it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, never have.
Well, if I ever,
it'd be hard though. No.
If I ever get to the place where I've got enough money to build like a humidor room,
yeah, now we're talking.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, or a humidor trailer.
You think you could replicate that?
For sure. Take that same. I mean, what's a humidor? It's a sealed box with something that keeps the humidity constant.
Sure.
That's all it is, right?
And well, yeah.
What if you stored all your cigars in your trailer and it was a humidor?
Say that again.
If you stored all of your cigars in the trailer and it was a humidor.
Well, it's what it is.
Oh, you keep all your inventory?
Well, okay. I have two sections. I have the cigar section.
Yeah.
That is a functioning humidor. It's all cedar built, and I keep the humidity.
No kidding. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then I have
display.
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
But then I have on the other side of that is storage area, and I keep all my back stock in there. But that's not a humidor. I keep everything in
boxes,
Tupperware, with humidity packs.
Yeah.
So, but that's a functioning humidor.
You didn't say that to me last time. That's cool. I didn't realize that. That's even more cool.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Well, look, cigar show recap here, cigar section. What did you think of that cigar, the Artista 56 Maduro?
It was very good. It was very good. Nice. Like, what am I going to say? What's the term? I'm not a cigar aficionado, but it's got a nice aftertaste.
Okay.
It's got like a nice aftertaste. It's not too strong. It was easy to smoke. I didn't feel like too heavy or anything like that, overwhelmed. Yeah, it was a good cigar.
Yeah, no, mine was great. The draw was beautiful. It smoked very well, and I liked the smoke on it. It was kind of like a medium full body. The smoke was bordering thick.
Yeah.
A good palate coating smoke there, and I thought it was kind of a medium full on the flavor profile. Not super bold, but it was still, like I said, medium full.
Had a little something going on.
Yeah, definitely. So, once again, how do people follow you on social media and
At Blue Ridge Cabinet?
And if they want to reach out to you, either coming to the shop or
Blue Ridge Cabinet in Easley. Phone number is 864-671-6333, or you can email us at sales@blueridgecabinet.com.
Awesome. One thing I always ask is just for a few recommendations, people you think that I should bring on the show, man.
Oh, cool. I like that you're bringing like foodie people on. That was the podcast I listened to this past week. Can't remember his name, but I think he was like an executive chef down.
Oh, yeah, John Malick.
Malick, yeah. Interesting guy. Cool.
That show had a few sound episodes. I don't know, sound issues. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I don't know.
But anyway.
I didn't catch too much. Who else? I don't know. Probably bring on like one of these like high-end builders, probably help your real estate game.
Like people that you know.
Yeah, I can give you a name or two.
Yeah.
Chip Wilson Jr. from Premier Design. They do like super high-end renovation work. They do a lot of really cool projects in the Greenville area.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Joe Heyman, my best man, he owns Revive Saunas and Spas here in Easley. He's a sauna and spa guy.
Heck yeah.
Super cool guy. Loves to talk. He'll get into all of it.
Yeah. I've definitely shoot me that. I've got a guy in just a few weeks, Mark Thonas, who's a luxury home builder. He's coming on. So, cool. I mean, I'm not saying like your other guy. Yeah, definitely, but definitely want to talk to the sauna and spa guy.
Joe's a cool cat, and he does some really fun custom, talk about a humidor.
Yeah, man.
The saunas are crazy. But
seriously.
Yeah, that's off the top of my head.
Okay, sweet. Well, look, if you are in need of my services as a realtor or with the cigar box, you can get me directly at 864-207-2316. You can also visit mobilecigarbox.com to check out the business, learn more, and fill out the booking inquiry form. If you'd like to set up a no obligation chat about real estate, shoot me an email to cstrother@cdanjoiner.com. You've been listening to Sunday Afternoon Smokes. I appreciate it. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it on your socials, share it with the world, because Sunday Afternoon Smokes is pretty sweet. Andrew, thanks for carving out 3 hours on a Tuesday to sit with me.
My pleasure.
It's been fun.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man. We will see y'all in a new episode very soon.